Alright. Hello, it's your friend Double Bite. So I'm supposed to be recording an episode of Pokemon Hazard, the first one of our relaunch, but instead we're learning about Rhode Island Rodeo Clown. No, not Clown Law. Rhode Island Rodeo Law. So, Runner?
Hi, folks. Welcome to the first episode of
Pokemon Hazard 2.0.
Runner's Rhode Island Rodeo Law Show. That adds an interesting... Okay, well, since you're recording now, I guess the summary of Rhode Island's rodeo law. Rhode Island law, in addition to prohibiting cruelty to animals, specifically regulates rodeos and rodeo-related activities to ensure the humane treatment of rodeo animals and livestock. The law requires anyone conducting or promoting a rodeo to notify a local animal control officer of the date and time of the event and hire a large animal veterinarian to be present. It also limits the type of rodeo events that may be conducted and requires the use of breakaway rope in the calf roping events. Anyone convicted of cruelty to animals while participating in a rodeo is lifetime banned from future rodeos. Next up will be an ad from Blue Apron. Thank you to our sponsors.
They're not our sponsors. Fuck you, Blue Apron.
Blue Apron.
Fuck you, Blue Apron.
For your rodeo viewing needs.
Fuck you, Blue. So there's every question. Do normal rodeos not have a veterinarian nearby, or did they just have like, hey, Bill?
No, obviously. No, hold up. Okay, also, there's a new layer to this document that I found on the internet. It's from March 16th, 1999. So who knows if this is the updated Rhode Island rodeo law.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, can I change my character's name?
No.
Permissible rodeo events. The law limits rodeo events following saddle bronc riding. What the hell is saddle bronc riding?
See, it's clearly not even your first rodeo. You are at like -1 rodeos if you don't even know what saddle bronc riding is.
So the audience at home, the reason we're asking this is how many rodeos is it sufficient for it to not be your first rodeo? I think it's 3 or 4. Because your second rodeo is still not enough rodeos. I probably stole that from the internet. But this is our second rodeo, our second Pokemon rodeo, our Pokedio.
That's another question. Like, out of all of the mini games in Pokemon, and all of the farms with Pokemon being kept as slaves in Pokemon, how has there not been a Pokemon rodeo? Like, was there... Maybe there's an anime episode for it, but I feel like...
Excuse me. There was an episode where Ash rode the Ponyta in a race.
No, a race is different from a rodeo.
Excuse me. Permissible rodeo events, Rhode Island law is wild horse racing, so yeah, that counts.
Yeah, but if it's just a horse race, it's just a horse race. It's not a whole rodeo. You have to have multiple events at a rodeo.
They had like Electrode, there's like the Dodrio.
How the fuck do you lasso an Electrode?
Carefully.
What do you even do with an Electrode in a rodeo? What?
Well, like he lumberjacked it.
He cut an Electrode with an axe?
No, like he log rolled it, okay. Stood on it. Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. I would do it with something that doesn't explode, but like spice it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm actually gonna stop this recording briefly just to make sure our levels are okay, because I should probably do that since I haven't recorded anything in a while. Yeah, I'll do that real quick.
You sound fine to me. I'm in Audacity, so I don't know what it actually sounds like. It might sound like dog poop. But
well, are you recording your side as well?
I figured I would. Hey, say something real quick.
Yo. Oh.
Yeah, I'm only recording my side just as a backup, just in case.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna pause the recording real quick. Alright, we all good.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so for any of the 3 of you who watched our first launch, first of all, legal stuff, Nintendo, please don't sue our balls off. We don't own Pokemon. We're not gonna make any money off of this. Just like a fan thing, Creative Commons, yada yada yada. Anyway, so we started to do a one-person D&D campaign for a game called Pokemon Hazard, and we got like one, maybe two episodes in, and I kind of burnt out of it. It was work, and I don't like doing work, putting an effort into anything I do. Well, we're gonna try again. Only this time it's gonna be a podcasty thing, just audio, since that's what the cool kids do with D&D these days anyway. This way, I don't have to make maps that look good. I can instead make maps that look bad. So I'm very excited about this. I don't have dice with most competent. How do I not have dice with me?
Are you rolling in-person dice?
Oh, I feel like I should. This way it makes cool clattering noises, but I guess I'm just gonna use an online roller for now.
Well, I was going to use an online roller because I, like a pleb, only own D6s like normal people. Just
Well,
because I've never.
we're doing Powered by the Apocalypse ish, so technically all you need is D6s. However,
Oh,
get the fuck out of my campaign. We're gonna get you some real dice,
I will
some
be
adult
ready.
dice, not some baby dice. Go
No,
play
if
Yahtzee.
we're only doing Powered by the Apocalypse, and I need 2 dices. I will find 2 dices next time
Okay.
because I don't want to do that now.
Speaking
This
of
is only my second rodeo, so
Speaking of Yahtzee, I actually played Yahtzee with my parents over Zoom on Thanksgiving. In my first 3 rolls, I got 2 Yahtzees.
That's cheating.
Right? And one of them, like, it's funny because we're on Zoom, and the first one, like, I didn't roll my dice on camera. But the second one, I was literally rolling on the camera, and they just saw me get a Yahtzee, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" All right, so, would you like to introduce your character?
I think we should follow the traditional standard of Pokemon. I think you should set the scene, Professor.
Professor Larch?
Yeah, sure, Professor Larch.
See, this is a slightly different world. We're taking some creative liberties with the setting. You are not a small child about to be sent on your own on an adventure where you fight against international supercriminals. Going on your first adventure with Pokemon is a rite of passage, but not everyone becomes the champion. Most people go catch a few Pokemon, have a nice time, learn about themselves, and then come back and settle down. Sometimes they even de-evolve their Pokemon because, quite frankly, it's hard to keep a Venusaur inside the house. You are one of such people who did not become the champion, but you've got a pretty good life. You're like in late 20s, early 30s. You're tell us what your profession is.
Okay, so my character is Erwin Van Etten. Erwin Van Etten, a researcher.
Oh, so like a Pokemon professor?
Yeah, so they were a former Pokemon environmentalist, like ranger type, and so they started their adventure, ending up more interested in studying Pokemon than being like the champion and stuff. I was more interested in their Pokemon and their behaviors. So that's kind of where his path went with his journey.
Cool. So, you work hard. You're not as famous as, say, Professor Oak or Mr. Pokemon, but you're doing pretty well for yourself. And you decide to go on the SS Annie, going on a little cruise from your homeland of Johto. So it's not a super big cruise, but you're standing on deck, enjoying the sunlight. What are you doing?
I'm just kind of chilling out, enjoying the time. Nothing really new has happened in like the Pokemon world. Like everyone's kind of discovered all the Pokemon. I'm kind of just chilling with my partner, which was a Totodile, which I imagine I evolved at some point during my journeys. But like you said, I let it kind of devolve in this world. Where so now it's my partner Totodile. Can I tell you the nickname? You already know it. The viewer audience does not.
Yeah, if you want to say your Pokemon's nickname, you were introducing yourself.
So my Totodile's nickname is Crocky, the Totodile.
Yep.
And so I'm basically just chilling, just hanging out on the bow deck of the SS Anne. Just kind of enjoying it. I maintained a small following from my adventures and like my research and stuff. Like I had like maybe like a small book or like a few books or like videos on like the pokey internet, um, mostly about Totodile because that was my partner. But I was able to save up traveling to um, let's say the let's say the hmm let's say the Galar region because that's the new game.
Yeah.
Just saving up money to travel to the Galar region, just for a vacation, but also like in that line of work. Vacation is also business still.
Go to the Armor Islands.
Yeah, because like there's like the Dynamax stuff and Gigantamax stuff, and it's like, well, like no one really knows if like the starters in Johto and stuff will get that kind of treatment.
That's a good point. You do gotta go expose your beloved partner to random ass wild energies in a completely different continent.
That's a
It's the
real life
responsible thing
thing.
to do.
If Game Freak is listening, please don't sue us, like we said. But also, hey, give the Johto starters Gigantamax
Give
forms,
the Johto
please.
starters any love at all. There are more gens
Do
than Gen
stuff.
1. Anyway, so you're looking out in the distance, and I think you see kind of a few dark clouds, but you're not too worried about them. A stiff
Can I
breeze
roll for
is.
something?
I'm sorry?
Can I roll?
What do you want to roll?
See, well, because I've been out and traveling, I want to see um, perception type stuff. If I can kind of identify what's what's coming in the horizon.
Okay. Um, 2d6.
Go. I'm using rolladie.net. I got oh no, I got a 3.
Cool. Yeah, nope. It's far off in the distance. You are utterly unconcerned. Can't really make out anything in particular.
Cool. I'm just gonna chill in.
Right. So one of the other passengers on the ship, who is one of actually the few people who recognized you, um, his name is Jack, and he's kind of short, a little pudgy, has like frizzy hair that's kind of receding, but whatever's not receding is kind of standing up. Really, really jovial guy. Not like a fanboy, but he's also there alone, so he's decided he's going to be your buddy. Erwin, how are you doing, my buddy? How you doing, buddy, old pal?
Oh hey, isn't it my? I spent all this time doing a backstory. I didn't think about a character voice.
Don't do
I'm
voices.
not gonna
I
do
hate
the
when people
obvious one.
voices.
I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk. Oh, isn't it my buddy, my number one fan, Jack?
That's me. Oh, I'm
Today,
I'm I'm so flattered. So, you
did you
excited?
catch the show last night?
Sorry,
Oh, I'm pretty excited. Did you catch the show last night?
I did not. I didn't know you were still doing shows.
Oh no, not me. It was the one that the cruise is doing.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, sorry. I check your social media once in a while. I thought I would have heard. But yes,
Yeah,
it was
they
a
they
yes, it was a fine.
they,
It was
they
a
kind
fine
of
show.
they kind of did a whole put your Rotom phones away. Don't don't record this. Don't you know stay off of it. It was interesting. They had a cadaver eat ice cream, but like with his mind. But like he had two spoons, but like one was like his regular spoon, and the other one was like just like a normal spoon. It was weird.
Huh. I'm amazed that they allowed a Kadabra to be in a show. I thought Kadabras were banned from being in shows. They were stealing someone else's act, I heard.
Well, we're in international waters and stuff, so
there, there are no magic laws in international waters.
no, of course not.
Hey,
So Oh, it was a good show. It was quite interesting.
Hmm.
So, what were you up to then last night instead?
I was just kicking back a few cold ones with my slow bro. Turns out they don't have much alcohol tolerance. Either that or they
You
just
fed.
metabolize very slowly.
So you gave booze to your slow bro.
Yeah, we're on vacation.
I
That
I
is
I
that
never
is
thought
that
of
bad?
that.
Are you not
Well,
supposed
it's
to?
it's not it's not great. It's
Then
not
why
great.
did the
It's
Squirtles
similar.
advertise beer? It's hypocritical. Squirtle
It's
Squad brand.
awfully, yeah.
Hey,
Well, I mean, that's really just it was a kind of a tie-in promotion. You had to you buy the poke po, Heineken Pokekin Blaziken here,
uh,
and you gotta collect all the collectible ones
all the
with
bottle
the Squirtle
caps.
Squad on them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, now we gotta think of Pokemon beers. Ugh. This is why I don't bother world building. It's too hard.
No, no, we don't. Let's move the story along to where we don't need to think about Pokemon ears. And I almost made that Kadabra may eat like just like uh the ice cream Pokemon.
Vanillish.
Yeah, no, the one that's two ice creams.
Vanillux.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a small ice cream and then like a large
Yeah,
ice
it's
cream,
Vanillite,
vent.
Vanilla. It's like I think Vanillish, Vanillite, Vanillux.
Yeah, that's it. We know our Pokemon.
Hell
That's
yeah.
that's pretty good.
I was actually trying to catch one. So I was doing a Pokemon Blaze Black Nuzlocke, and I'm going to the cold storage. And I'm like, okay, want a Vanillish, or just any kind of ice Pokemon, and it gives me Herdier, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's no good. What's a dog doing in the freezer? You don't put dogs in freezers.
Right? Just rude. Technically, it's outside the freezer, so maybe he was like, I don't know.
Looking at the ice cream. You put ice cream in freezers. That's where they belong.
And you do tend to run Ice Fang on them, so maybe he's practicing his Ice Fangage.
Well, it's just yeah.
So
I don't have a funny joke.
Jack interrupts your train of thought, squinting off in the distance, kind of tipping up his little, plastic rimmed sunglasses. Those clouds getting darker? See that? You're a traveled man. Do those look okay?
I like to roll another perception check.
Yep.
7.
Yeah, you look and you're like, they are coming towards us, and you feel kind of a breeze kicking up. It blows, and like Jack's visor starts to flap. His like shitty plastic visor starts to flap a little. Huh.
Should I be telling you about my +1? Do I still have +1? I know we changed it since we made my character.
All right. Yeah. So we're doing kind of a wonky. I'm like homebrewing the hell out of this. I'll go more into mechanics once they matter a little bit more. And do
I guess we're
recap.
we're in cutscene territory, so I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah. You are being railroaded, son.
okay, great. Like all good D&D podcasts, we're on rails.
So, Dex kind of squinting the distance. He's like, I'm gonna go back below Dex. Should go find Crocky and get down too.
Yeah, you're probably right. We're still on the way to our vacation, so might as well get to our vacation. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be very tragic if you didn't get to your vacation location.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for Crocky.
Okay.
Crocky. What's the layout? Like, what's the layout of where I am on deck?
It's not like a huge cruise ship, but it's pretty big. You said you were on on the decks, kind of looking over the side.
Yeah, like on the front. I don't know if I would be on over close to the side. I'd probably be like close to the I guess the middle of the deck.
Okay, so yeah, so
yeah, Are there like, lounge chairs and like
Hmm.
tables and stuff?
Yeah, there's a little seating area.
So is this the kind of location where like trainers could leave? Like, do we have a McDonald's play place here for like Pokemon, or is it like a people cruise?
I mean, most people leave let their Pokemon like walk around with them. Um, we're not. Most people don't bring their baby Pokemon on a cruise, and they're often traveling together. So, do you think you would have left Crocky
I have
somewhere? I'm willing to roll with it, but it's more
I
likely
have a
that he's
world
kind of.
building question.
Yep, go for it.
And I'm gonna try not to talk over you as much. I just got lag.
Oh, no problem. It's
Um,
gonna happen. We're still getting in our groove.
is this world the kind of thing where like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, like where people normally let their partners like walk around, or is it more like the older games where that's not as common?
Yep. So it's very common for your main partner to just walk around with you. And if you look at like everything else in like the Pokemon games, most people that aren't like looking to fight you don't have their Pokemon in a ball. Any kind of Pokemon that are just chilling with their trainer. Like your mom's place is like the Poliwag just chilling in there. You see the Patarats running around. So it's kind of like that. Like if there's no real reason to have your Pokemon in a ball, you usually don't. It's kind of like a trainer thing because they have so many more Pokemon.
Hmm. Okay, so I think this is where I would be at. I think I would have been on deck. I Even if I'm on vacation, like I'm still going to the Galar region for like research and like just kind of adventure. I think I would be on deck, chilling in a lounge chair, maybe reading a book or something about the Galar region. And I would think my Totodile Crocky would have probably wandered away, maybe to go play with some other Pokemon, or maybe to go out and about.
Yeah.
I probably would let it go because it's also like a water type. It's my partner. I kind of
Hmm.
know what its capabilities are,
Yeah.
and I guess with my real bad 3 earlier, I didn't think there would be any problem
Yeah.
with the storm. So even if it fell overboard or something, it's a water type. It can probably come back. Like it's a cruise ship that's on the ocean. There's probably like ladders and stuff, right?
Yeah. And
So
there's lifeboats. It is making fairly long distance journeys, so it's not just like a coastal boat. It can handle cross region travel even if it's not that big.
yeah, so I think I'm on deck. I'm reading a book about my intended destination, and Crocky probably wandered off, and I'm going to look around. I'm going to look around on deck.
Also, so a bit of my this kind of Pokemon universe world building. I was going to introduce it a little bit more later, but now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I feel like I should tell you and the audience now in case that affects how you're role playing. Researchers believe that you gain a small psychic connection with your Pokemon. It's kind of represented in their friendship towards you and their loyalty towards you, and it's how you can kind of direct them to use moves, um, and kind of when to use berries and just little things. It's not like you can't like control your Pokemon psychically, but you do have kind of a strong connection with them that gives you kind of instinct with it, which is one of the reasons that people don't tend to have like all 6 Pokemon running around. It's actually overwhelms your mind a little bit. So that's why people tend to have one Pokemon out and about at a time, if that. And that's why trainers typically keep them um, all kind of under wraps. So it's not like a hard science theory, but it's a kind of an intuition. So if you want to kind of roll this intuition, it's going to be an instinct roll. Slowly introducing our stats to this game. So feel free to roll instinct if you want to try to try to feel out where Crocky is.
Can I purposely roll with a negative modifier?
Uh,
I feel like
if you have
I
justification.
I I feel like I probably I don't know. I don't know if I would be interested. I think I would be more interested in the behaviors of connections,
Mhm.
and it it will have been a while since I had been, in like combat situations, like in a in sync kind of flow state with
Yeah,
my partner Pokemon. I think if such a thing were possible with me and my partner, I think it's probably Rusty.
that makes sense. Cool. And yeah, we're both kind of feeling this out ad hoc. Oh, 1 second. Burb is messaging me.
Yo yo.
Yep, that makes total sense.
All right. Um,
Okay,
that's a -1. That'd be a 3.
okay. So you're not really sure where he is. You're not too concerned yet, but the wind is picking up. Um, One of the umbrellas that's on the deck kind of like turns upside down and like starts to slide.
Okay. Is it sliding towards me?
So the boat is now pretty much going. Looks like it's going towards the storm. So the umbrella is kind of sliding, probably to your left, towards the back of the boat.
Okay. Um, whew, I think I'm gonna walk around and look. Look. You know what? I'm gonna look overboard. I'm gonna see if maybe Crocky was already overboard because I don't know where they would have been. I don't immediately see them on deck, right?
Not from where you are. You're gonna have to walk around a little bit. Like how boats have it's like the top deck, but there's also like that kind of that cabin, kind of towards the back of the boat.
Mhm.
For like the to get like a better view, so you can't see the back of the boat 100%.
I think I'm gonna look overboard first.
Okay. You look, but you don't really. It'd be too hard to see like a small blue Pokemon from the distance. You don't quite spot anything.
I'm going to walk to the other side of the deck, and I guess light jog to the other side of the deck. Because if I'm looking on one side, then I wouldn't be able to see the other side. So if I've checked one side, I'm going to check the other side.
Okay, the wind is intensifying. Make a Valor roll.
7 +1, 8.
Cool. You keep your footing. You're doing fine. You're starting to get a little more freaked out, but you're keeping your cool. Go over and look over the other side of the deck, and nothing's in the water as far as you can tell.
Um, I'm not fully understanding the layout. So where else would I have to go check?
Well, right now, so
There's like a
you're kind of in the
chat.
middle of the boat, right? And you've checked off the sides of the deck, both sides.
Uh-huh.
So there's still like the very front of the boat and the very back of the boat.
I'm going to go to the back of the boat.
Okay. Um, the wind is starting to really howl. The sky is rapidly turning like a deep charcoal as you're running past the kind of cockpit of the boat. There's got to be a word for it. Hold on. Boat cockpit. That'd be no, it's literally just called the boat cockpit. Huh.
In Rhode Island, it's called.
Oh my god. Uh, Rhode Island isn't even a real place. Stop making up places. Anyway, so as you're running past the cockpit,
Victory, Rhode Island.
the boat suddenly lurches, and you kind of stumble. Well, actually, the boat lurches. Make another valor roll.
Would I be prepared for this?
No, it's a surprise. So roll with disadvantage. Let's say roll 3d6 and take the two lowest.
All right, 3d6. Take the two lowest.
Yep.
That would be a 6. Do I get my +1?
Yes.
So that'd be 7.
Okay, you stumble, you kind of hit your shoulder on the cockpit, but you manage to steady yourself and kind of keep on going to the back. Where you finally see Crocky. He is like at the end of the boat, like pressed kind of against the railing. So the boat's kind of going towards the storm, and you can see him. He's like freaked out, and he's like looking. He's like almost trying to get over the railing, trying to run away.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is Crocky my only partner at this time?
Did we start you with a second partner?
I know we talked about it, but I didn't know when, if I had it.
Let's say no.
Okay, so Crocky's my only partner.
Crocky's your only partner.
Okay. I'm gonna say that its Pokeball was in my cabin, like my room.
Okay.
So I can't just laser pointer it to safety.
Yeah.
So I have to go run towards it.
Okay. You run towards him. Let me see how much a Totodile weighs, actually.
According to Pokemon, it'll be like 78 pounds.
It's either 5 pounds or 700. It is 20 pounds.
Oh, I can lift that. I'm yoked as hell.
And about 2 feet tall.
Well, I'm not a very good researcher with the Pokemon book. You know what, I should have had that ready. That's on me.
I mean, as a GM who's about to throw some shit at you and a Totodile, I should have had that ready. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
so
but I'm the Pokemon researcher with a book on Totodiles. I should have had that ready.
Yeah, probably. Get wrecked. Just lost some YouTube subscribers or PokeTube subscribers. Jack is now no longer your fan because he heard this exchange somehow.
That's all right. He's a weird dude that gives his Pokemon booze. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, it's a slow bro. You gotta be icing your bros.
But oh my god, is that why? No.
No, I just made that. I just came up with that, and now I feel bad about myself. Anyway,
that's you should feel bad.
Totodile's like kind of trying to climb over the railing. You know, they have the stubby little fingers, so he's not really doing a very good job. But he hears you running up, and he kind of like drops down, like runs towards you.
I'm gonna him up. I'm gonna Crocky, let's go. We have to go. Let's get inside. What are you trying to do? Jumping off the boat like that?
Just kind of squawks at you and kind of grabs your leg.
That's not what a Totodile says. It would say like Totodile. It's
no, see,
Pokemon.
I am skeptical of this because the end in like, okay, that troubled me as a kid. Because as a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, they say their name in the anime, and then you play the games, and they come into battle, and it's just this like horrifying screech. And then you talk to them in the games, and they just go like rah, or like weird noises. They just like screech at you. It's like what?
So out of character, like one of the things I've been doing in lockdown is I just listened to Let's Plays, and one of them was the Oni plays. They played Pokemon Red, but like the original Red.
Nice.
And at some point they talk about this. My guess and like my kind of headcanon is that like they do make sounds that are like onomatopoeic sounds that like humans like kind of mentally transcribed into like the Totodile is probably like Dododile or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they made.
Oh, I like that. That's actually that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense until you get to Mr. Mime.
And again, he does say Mr. Mime. So
yeah,
that's very specific onomatopoeia.
But like, but like,
I think we're
do
trying to
like
make too much sense out of Pokemon.
French Mister Mimes say like something else? Like that's where
Zumain.
that's where it kind of falls apart. So
Or-
anyway, back to our game. Not talking about someone else's
Okay,
game.
well, counterpoint. Now I want to see like Senor Mime.
Send your mime. That's probably would be a thing. They made the British like Charlie Chaplin looking Mister Mime.
Mr. Rhyme, which is
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
That is an awful name, and they should feel bad.
It doesn't even can't even spit hot fire.
Maybe
It's an
he
ice
can.
type.
I haven't played. Have you played Sword and Shield?
Yeah, he's an ice type. He can't. He
Okay, so
can't
he
spit hot
he
fire.
can't. But can he give people like cold burns?
Mm, I mean, my guess.
Hmm. Anyway, so are you gonna try to how are you gonna try to get back to the cabin? Go
I've
back
picked
below
up
decks.
Totodile. I'm holding Totodile like a little baby.
A little
I'm going
20-pound baby.
yeah, well, like okay, yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, and I'm gonna
you're slightly encumbered.
yeah, and I'm gonna turn around. I guess I gotta walk slowly. I can't fast travel now, right?
Nope. The boat makes another wild shake. Um, roll Valor at disadvantage again.
Hold on. That's 6 + 1, 7.
Nice. So you managed to keep on your feet. You run past the cockpit, making your way kind of towards the like the stairs down below decks, and you see something in the distance. Um, in like the heart of the storm that's racing towards you. You see three glowing, like silver eyes. Seem to be looking straight at you. So transfixed by this that the boat suddenly lurches and it is full 60 degrees over, and you and Totodile are in the water.
Oh no.
Oh no, we're in the water. So, just got knocked overboard. You're still holding on to
Well, I guess.
Totodile.
Oh, I guess. I'm gonna like. See, I can't properly rub it, but like, you ever watch Tra, the spin-off movie from Daredevil?
No, I have taste.
Well, okay, rude, but um, in one of the scenes, like Elektra's training is like she has to like tread water, but she can't use her hands. So she's like, because she's like an assassin, right?
Right.
So she's like upright in the water and she's like kicking with her feet. I think I'm doing that. I'm holding on to Totodile. I'm staying upright, trying to keep my head above water. But like all I can do is like kick with my to keep from sinking.
Okay, you're kicking away. Make a valor check.
Advantage, disadvantage.
Just regular old.
8 + 1, 9.
Okay, you are treading water really successfully, and you're able to spot a place where one of the lifeboats, the kind of one of the pieces of rigging that was holding the lifeboat to the side of the ship, has kind of torn. So it's halfway hanging off the boat. The tip of it's kind of touching the water. Um, you could get over there. You might be able to hop aboard.
Can I roll a? Let's see. Would it be perception or intuition? Are the waves? Um, are the waves wild enough that like Totodile would have a hard time swimming on its own?
So you don't need to roll for that. You are barely keeping afloat. are like tapping
I'm
into some like
I'm not a
adrenaline
water
mode.
type. I'm not a water type Pokemon. I'm a human man.
True, but you are like tapping into some major adrenaline right now.
Now, hold on. I'm also a human man who's now carrying 20 pounds.
Hold on a second. I'm saying you're treading water. You didn't immediately drown. Your check was to see if you immediately like get fucking wrecked. All
That's true.
right, I'm
My
checking something real quick. Okay,
my thought process is if I let go of Totodile and it can swim to the thing, that also frees me up to also swim to the thing.
so I just
Because it's
checked.
water.
Totodile can learn Surf in Gen 2. For some reason, I didn't think he could. I thought it was only the evolutions who could learn Surf. But since he can learn Surf and Whirlpool, then yes, he can do just fine, even in this crazy weather. Got
Now,
lucky
does that
there.
mean my Totodile has Surf as a move, or
No, we're doing the kind of the thing where like hand waving a little bit of HMs. We'll get into that more later.
like how Pokemon can fly, but like they can't actually fly until you give them the move Fly?
Right. Totodile definitely has the capacity for swimming. And if you trained him, you could sit on this 2 foot tall Pokemon and have him carry you through the water.
As it makes sense. Yeah, that kind of fits with what my thought process was too. So I'm gonna let go of Totodile, and I'm gonna Crocky get to the lifeboat, and I'm going to try to I'm gonna like kind of let go and push it towards where it's going.
I'm gonna roll for Crocky's intelligence. Crocky like sees the boat and like starts like paddling on over there. He does seem like he's in his element. He seems a little less scared and just like more focused, and especially now that you're back with him. He's just motoring on over there to the lifeboat.
Okay, I'm going to swim behind Crocky.
Okay. You know what? Since we're doing this now, I'm just going to introduce the stats of this game. Which I probably should have done before, but whatever. There are 3 stats in this game. They may sound familiar to you: Mystic, Valor, and Instinct. And they are kind of amalgams of ways to interact with the situation. So Valor is physical strength, bravery, endurance, leadership. Mystic is intellect, deduction, analysis, careful study, and instinct is perception, intuition, deception, and reflexes. So you know they don't directly map to D&D kind of stats, but they're rather different approaches for things. So if I tell you to make valor check, let's say, and you're like, well, I think I'm trying to keep my balance, that might be more of an instinct check. So feel free to like suggest what skill you're trying to apply to a situation. If it's not one that like I'm specifying. And we're just kind of doing a Powered by the Apocalypse thing, 2d6 based on that roll, running from there. So yeah. Anyways, I figure if we're making up homebrew shit as we go along, maybe I should like cue people in so they know what the hell's going on. This is gonna be some adjustments. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, so you start paddling over to the lifeboat. Totodile's already like about halfway there. I want you to make another valor roll.
That's a 4 + 1, 5.
You're making slow progress. You're about halfway there by the time that Totodile gets there. He's kind of hopped into the boat. He doesn't really. Well, he knows, but he's just kind of like sitting there, like looking for you, and you're not gonna be able to call out to him, from this distance.
Man, I should have picked the grass type. I guess I gotta keep swimming.
Yep, make one more roll. Your arms are getting tired, but No disadvantage yet?
6 plus 1, 7.
Nice. You make it to the lifeboat.
Oh, cool.
So the lifeboat is
Um,
kind of like dangling, but with the combined weight of you and Crocky, the final rope holding it snaps and kind of plops into the water.
am I in it, or am I like holding on to the
You
side
kind
of
of like
it?
grabbed onto the side, and your weight snapped the rope. So you Totodile's in it, like kind of clinging to it, and you're hanging on the edge of the water.
Oh, dang. It's hard to get into boats from outside the boat.
It is.
I guess you can't. Hold on, that was dumb. I guess you can't get into the boat if you're in the boat. You're already in the boat. I mean, like if you're like clinging to the outside, it's hard to get
If
in.
you're clinging on the outside while in a horrendous storm, yes, it is quite difficult.
Yeah. I guess I'll try to get in.
Okay. Um.
That'd
So,
be Valor. That's gotta be Valor, right?
um. Yeah, if you're trying to use like just brute strength and just hoist yourself up. Yep.
Yeah. 5 plus 1 would be a 6. I guess is it? What are your I guess cutoffs? Is it the same as Powered by the Apocalypse, where
I don't gotta
6?
tell you. I don't gotta tell you shit.
Okay.
But yeah, so in normal circumstances, a 6 is like a weak success. But these are not normal circumstances. You are trying to like hoist your entire body into a small boat during a storm. You're barely hanging on there.
Can I make a perception check?
Yep. So that'll be
Um,
instinct.
because yeah, because I saw those 3 glowing silver eyes. The storm's been getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to kind of see if it's getting more worse, and if that thing is closer.
Cool.
That's 9 plus 1, 10.
Oh Jesus, you were rolling pretty hot today.
Well, I mean, seven's like statistically the most common.
That's fair. I'm also not used to this system, so I don't have an intuition for the rolls.
That's decent. That's a 4 and a 5,
Yeah.
and then I get the plus 1.
So, you're kind of looking around, and unlike people in horror movies, you think to look up. And as you look up, there's just the sky is all black, like all dark, so you can't really make out too much of its shape. But there is something massive, either flying or hovering over the boat. Like unlike a hurricane, there is no eye of the storm. There's just the storm, and is being raised up around you by whatever this is above you. You presume it's a Pokemon because you've seen its eyes. You see there's motion to the shape above you. It's definitely not a cloud. And as you watch, you see yellow, like kind of lightning ripple in coils, and a horrifying screaming growl. And everything goes white.
Am I dead?
Roll Valor.
6 plus 1.
So, you wake up before Crocky does. Every part of your body hurts. Feels like you've just been, funnily enough, in a horrific storm trying to climb onto a tiny lifeboat while being battered on all sides.
Weird.
Right? What do you do?
Oddly specific. Um, what do I feel?
Right now, pain.
Like, am I
The
okay?
the sun is very bright, and you're looking up to kind of a clear sky.
I'm
Your back is very uncomfortable. You are lying on something very uncomfortable.
I'm gonna sit up and look at.
Sorry.
I'm gonna sit up and look at when I'm lying down.
It appears to be kind of like somewhat rough gravel. Um, you appear to be on a gravel beach, a pretty far distance up from the water. Either something carried you all the way there, or maybe the tides went out. Your feet are not dipping in the water. There's definitely wreckage of the boat nearby, and about 20 feet away, you see a small bluish lump.
And get up and run to the small blue.
You attempt to run. It's more of a staggering shuffle. Your clothes are tattered. When you make it over to your buddy, he's lying completely motionless.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is is Pokemon CPR a thing?
I don't know. You're the researcher on Totodiles.
No, but like in real life. No, I guess not real life. Like is that a thing? Because like Pokemon normally like faint, right? Like there's not like oh Pokemon's dying. It's like oh no they faint,
Yeah,
and I take it to the nurse. Normally,
and they
would
get.
that be a thing?
It does seem
That
to be that Pokemon tend to be very durable, but like lose energy more so than like take brutal.
okay? I'm gonna shake Totodile. I don't. This probably isn't. You wouldn't kill a main character this early in the game, would you? Like
He looks at you and just very feebly like slaps at you, which is like, "Hey, stop shaking me. Bow down."
okay, I'm gonna like sit back and because now, all right, I'm alive. Totodile's alive. Shit got fucked.
That got way fucked.
I'm gonna look around. So you said I woke up kind of far away from the water.
Yeah.
I'm going
Also,
to
nice. We
I'd like
actually
to go.
made it to the plot at only 47 minutes.
Well, 17 of that was talking about the very important Rhode Island rodeo.
That's true.
Uh,
Rhode Island rodeo law.
yeah. I'm gonna survey myself if I'm injured because Pokemon are durable. A human man is not.
Roll Mystic.
That's 8 plus 1, 9.
Christ. You kind of do a quick survey, and with your, you've been out in the field. You have a good sense of like field medicine and like taking care of yourself in a pinch, and you should be way more beat up than you are. Like you're scratched, you're achy, but you're surprised that nothing is broken. You don't feel particularly concussed. It is definitely spooky to you that you are not dead, but also not in tatters. Definitely not feeling great. Bit of a headache, but way better than you should be feeling. And similarly,
I'm gonna.
it's even though Totodile's a water Pokemon, he is moving around, he's responsive, he's not like barely awake.
Oh, kind.
You're breaking up a little bit.
He's like kind of normal.
Yeah, not 100%, but he's staggering around, kind of looking around. He's able to
I'm gonna
walk and
check
whatnot.
I'm gonna check my pockets if I what's in my pocket.
You ain't got shit.
Or I was gonna say, or what you determine is in my pockets.
You have nothing on you. You don't have shoes. Your
No,
tatters.
don't take my shoes.
Too bad you don't got fucking shoes.
Okay, I'm like Tom Hanks cast.
You were a classic castaway outfit. where despite everything, you look like shit, but still have your hair still
Can
well
you imagine?
conditioned, I guess.
Well, salt water is supposed to be. Nah, I don't know if salt.
It's probably not good for your hair.
I'm going to. I'm gonna walk over to where I woke up. Like, I want to kind of see what happened. I think this is the researcher in me. I'm gonna go see, like, if there were drag marks, or like if it was the tides, like there wouldn't be footsteps like between where I woke up and the water, but there would probably be footsteps away from where I am.
So, just a question about your Totodile's Crocky's personality. Is he an inquisitive sort? Is he likely to kind of wander on his own until you kind of pull him back towards you, or will he probably follow you? Pretty, especially in a new environment. Would he kind of wander on his own, or do you think he'd follow you?
I think with the experience that I would have had as a Pokemon field researcher, I think initially Crocky would probably stick close to me, but as we become more familiar with an area, it would probably then uh, kind of go kind of further afield. So I think right now Crocky would probably stay close to me because we don't know where we are right now. So
Mm-hmm.
not just for like I'm a human, I'm not going to protect it, but also for it to protect me. Um, yeah, I think Crocky's going to follow me for now.
Okay. So you make your way back to where you were, um, and look for footprints and whatnot. But this is a gravel beach, so it doesn't take to footprints as well as sand would.
Dang, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Um, there's no signs of like things being dragged. There's not really a path of gravel towards where you were, but that doesn't mean too much, especially if you came in at higher tide and then it receded. Um, make a mystic roll.
5 + 1 6.
Yeah, you see wreckage around, but nothing looks particularly useful. It's just kind of pieces of pieces of wood. Um, not enough to really tell you if the boat survived or not, or if they're just kind of chunks of lifeboat. But nothing unusual catches your eye.
Um, can I do an analysis, a mystic roll to I guess this would be instinct or perception. Um,
It depends.
I
Are you
want to
kind of
see.
so instinct would be like quick perception, a quick read. Mystic would be kind of what you're doing now, which is looking around really thoroughly,
Okay.
looking for clues.
I guess for what it's worth for the audience at home, the researcher gets +1 to all of the stats. So I guess that doesn't matter as much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you had other classes that would be like, oh well, instinct gets +2, but
Yeah,
mystic would be nothing.
and I'm also trying
But
to kind of establish kind of the role playing mentality of by saying that you're using mystic versus instinct, it kind of gives more perspective on like what your approach is.
yeah, I
And even if
think
the roles are kind of irrelevant right now, it's good to, it's a nice tool for describing how you're doing something.
yeah, I think I would do. Well, I just wanted to make that clear because I'm just adding +1 to everything.
Yep,
But
no,
if I pick something else, it would be.
I appreciate you doing so.
I think. All right, so I looked at the wreckage. I didn't really see anything particularly first glance, kind of right.
Nope.
I would like to do like a kind of more deeper look, which I think would be analysis or like careful study.
Mm-hmm.
Um, try to find either something that I could use for self defense, and or something that I could use to like gather water or food or something.
Okay.
That would be 8 + 1 9.
Have you rolled below a 6 yet?
I have rolled several things below a 6 the first roll was a 3.
Oh, that's fair. So you're kind of looking around the kind of driftwood and wreckage, and you feel something. You manage to see it before you feel it. There's a shard of something black pointing out of the gravel.
Am I wearing a shirt?
It's a very tattered shirt. It's technically most of a shirt.
Or
You have fabric that is not falling off of you. Yes.
I would like to wrap some of this fabric around my hands and pick up that shard of pointing something black pointing out. I ain't touching no sharp thing without proper hand protection. That's PPE 101.
All right, so you kind of dig it out. Um, it's about the, I guess, length from your wrist to the end of your palm. So it's about that length and about 2 inches across. Roughly arrowhead shaped, but not a perfect, not a perfect teardrop shape. And it's black, fairly light, and if you look closely at it, it has kind of yellow streaking. Only when it catches the light.
I'm gonna put it in whatever qualifies as a pocket. Like, I don't know.
Make
You know what? I'm gonna start a pile. I'm gonna start a pile on the ground somewhere because
damn. I was about to make
dead
you
ass.
roll for something good.
No, I was dead ass about to like take the bottom of like whatever my shirt was left and like make like a little pouch. But no, I'm
Fucking
gonna,
Boy Scout
I'm
over
gonna
here.
make. Yeah, no, I'm gonna make a pile on the gravel. I'm gonna look again because I still want to get something, um, either that I could use to collect food and water, use to kind of separate food, like the dirt, like a.
Well, as you're looking around from that, you hear kind of a very faint crunching, and you look up and see a figure way off, maybe like 60 feet up the beach.
I'm gonna.
You only manage to even to spot him because you are so thoroughly scanning the area.
I'm going to. They're behind me.
Um, they are away from the water, and you can't really make them out like which way they're going or something.
I'm gonna call Totodile over to me and just kind of be at the ready.
Okay. Whoever it is doesn't seem to notice you. Again, it's hard to tell, but you don't hear any kind of crying. Figure's not really getting closer rapidly. They just seem to kind of be, ambling along the beach.
Can I roll a perception check? I want to see if they're holding anything. If maybe they have a Pokemon out with them too.
You're not gonna be able to see really what's in their hands or anything. They're about 60 feet away. Um,
But it's not something that's large enough that like would be like they're not like walking around with like a spear or like a sword or something,
yeah,
right?
you don't see anything. You don't see like a Buster sword on their shoulder. They don't have anyone walking with them. Um, make Yeah, no, they just seem to be kind of ambling.
I'm going to hmm. I'm going to shout out. I'm going to say hello. Hello there.
No response from the figure. They are very slowly making their way towards you. See the kind of the way their body is, their gait makes you think that they're limping, or there's something odd about their gait.
I just got goosebumps. um, we're not like in a survival horror setting now, are we?
I ain't saying shit.
um, I'm gonna yell out even louder. Hey, excuse me, can you help us? Or do you need help?
At 12, figure like kind of
Oh,
like jolts and like looks, and then like you can see very clearly, very exaggeratedly waves at you.
oh no.
Hello? And then
Hi. Are
kind of
do you need any? Do you need any help?
just a minute. So the figure kind of starts making their way fairly slowly towards you. As they get into closer distance, you can see that they're using a cane to help them walk along the shore. Um, it's kind of it has like a little pincher thing, like those apple picker things on the end of it. Kind of hobbling on over. Do you walk towards him or just let him come to you?
Now hold up. I wouldn't have noticed this cane.
Not from the distance away, especially the way he was kind of lurching.
Okay.
He wasn't like facing you perfectly silhouetted and backlit. He was kind of ambling around.
Well, they know I'm here. They seem friendly. They seem in a way. I gotta remember this is not like I'm gonna like kill this dude. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. You know what? If they want me to wait a minute, I'm gonna walk 30 seconds their way.
Dick.
I'm gonna meet them halfway.
Kind of make your way towards him. He's ambling on over to you, and finally, he kind of stops a good like 15 feet, 10, 15 feet away. He's not getting up in your face. He's an older dude, maybe in his late 60s, a little hunched over, with little like half moon spectacles, and he like squints at you. Look like shit.
I feel like it too. Um,
He chuckles at you.
what's your name?
Name's Chuck Morris. Who the hell are
Oh,
you?
my name's Erwin. I not quite sure where I am. I was on a cruise ship. I don't know how long ago.
Suddenly,
I was on a cruise ship and we hit pretty
Chuck notices your Totodile and like kind of points at him with the claw.
good.
That that toenail ill?
Toto
Tomo
Totodile.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from the Johto region.
And
I'm guessing
he like
we're
steps backwards a little bit, and not aggressively, but just fearfully.
fearfully.
This is guessing you weren't planning on coming here, were you?
No, sir. I was planning on going to the Galar region. I'm a Pokemon researcher, and I was going to go to the Galar region for some research
He
and
kind of he kind of
relaxation, some R&R.
kind of spits on the ground as you say researcher. Ah, we got too many of you researchers.
I'm sorry.
Too many of you researchers around here. Snooping. Ugh. That's why we don't allow outsiders anymore.
Well, I assure you, I did not mean to come here. Um, I Where is here exactly anyway?
Wow. Just wake up or something? This is Palcho.
Yes.
He kind of like shrugs a little bit. You know, he kind of realizes he just got called out pretty obviously there. Make a mystic roll.
Where's my thing? Eek. There it is. 6 plus 1, 7. The two threes.
So Palcho, you know of as another continent, another region, quite a bit farther away from the other Pokemon regions, and you don't really know anything about it. You know it's far, that people don't go there. You don't know anyone from there. You don't know about any Pokemon from there. No transmissions. To kind of give you context, you know, I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Right now, me as a person, I'm not gonna make a you as a person judge. Me as a person could probably label some cities and countries in Europe. But because I was raised in America, I could not label cities and countries in Africa. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, you know, if you're from America, if Johto's like America, and, you know, Galar is like Britain, this is like familiarity of Africa. You know of Palcho, maybe would be able to recognize city names if someone said them to you, but you really don't know much about it. So even less knowledge than an American usually does about Africa. Self burn.
Coney 2012. Can I roll?
That's
hold on.
go back.
Where's my thing? Can I roll Mystic to see what I do know? You as the DM know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. You
Also,
know?
what exactly are you trying to remember? So you've heard of the region.
Yeah, I've heard of the region, so I guess if I know anything else about the region other than that it exists.
Um,
I
yeah,
would I would argue
you
for a
already
roll.
kind of rolled to see if the name sounded familiar. If there's something really specific, I can toss you a bone. But
Largest town in Palcho. Or no, nope. Most prominent Pokemon researcher.
okay, roll.
I don't know shit from Dick. That's two.
Yeah, as far as you know, you haven't heard of any prominent researchers from the Palcho region, which you never really thought was odd before, but you never expected to be in the Palcho region. So it's not. This is a lot of surprises to you.
Okay.
Anything else you want to kind of try to rack the memory banks on?
I guess I'll go back to a largest town. Or no, I don't know what I want. Is there a
I'm gonna give you
Pokemon
one. I'm gonna give you one
in?
more roll, or Chuck interrupts your staring into space.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Chuck's an NPC. He can wait.
Yeah,
Um,
fuck you. Chuck
I'm
is a
gonna.
cranky old man.
He can walk around in circles for a while. I don't know who would do that as an NPC. I'm going to. I would like to roll the same thing for Mystic of the existence of a Pokemon League or Gym Challenge in the Palcho region. I would imagine probably, but I mean, like, if I started off as a trainer trying to do that, would I know about, you know, the Palcho champion if there such was one?
Okay, roll them.
That's a 6 plus 1, 7.
You don't remember ever hearing about the Paltro Pokemon League or about a Paltro champion. And the only thing that even slightly rings a bell is the they call him the governor. He's kind of like a prime minister. You now that you're really racking your memory, remember seeing him at this international cross region Pokemon tour. But Paltrow, he was just an attendee. Um, it was a long time ago. It was a good 20 years ago. Like you are random access memorying here, trying to think of any time you've heard the word Paltrow. But that one 20 years ago is the only glimmer.
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to. I'm gonna talk to Chuck. Did you say the Palcho region?
That's right. What are we gonna?
How?
I get. Yeah, walk with me. I'm gonna take you to the professor. He'll
What day?
something. Sorry, say it again.
Because if so, I was on a cruise ship. What pokey day? What day is it? Because I was on a cruise ship and we interrupted by a storm. And last thing I remember was I got thrown overboard and I saw the darkness. And then I woke up here.
Cruise ship. Is that? Oh, you lot go on boats for fun and travel places?
Well, it was not necessarily fun, although it was kind of mostly because I was traveling to another place.
He just kind of looks at you and like stares and just like people around here are gonna look at you funny for that one. Maybe keep that to yourself a little. People around here don't tend to travel much, especially not outside Paltrow. Not these days.
Well, seems like a plan.
Also,
Hey, can you
pause
wait a
for
second? Yeah.
pause for a second. For anyone watching this who hasn't seen the original Pokemon Hazard, I swear to God, I've had this story for like 2 years now. Like it works for like 1 or 2 years, and there is a theme of a plague. So no, this is not just a tie-in with COVID. This is a plot I've had for a
Oh,
while. I want to make that
rip,
clear now. I'm not
rip.
trying to be a COVID mouthpiece. We're just gonna. It's the plot I had in mind, and if it's more fitting now, then so be it.
I forgot entirely about that. Rip. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Um. Hey, can you wait a second? I just want to go grab something from the wreckage.
What kind of squints at you? What to grab?
I found something interesting. I kind of want to do a little bit of research on it. It looks kind of weird. So I'm gonna go grab. I'm gonna go. You know what?
He
He's
spits.
not my boss.
He
I'm
spits
gonna go.
again. Just keep anything weird away from me. Probably infected.
Well, I was gonna show you, but okay. I'm gonna go grab the thing and put it in whatever would qualify as a pocket.
Either hold it in your hand, or you can try to tuck it in your waist of your shorts. You were probably wearing shorts.
Yeah, it's
And
comfortable.
Damn it! I was trying to make that joke. Ah.
I'm sorry. The lag. There was a
Uh,
silence, and I took it. Um, I guess I'm gonna I'm gonna tuck it into my. No, it's is this thing sharp? You said it was sharp, right?
yes.
Or is it just like a? Is it
It,
is it
it, it,
like
feel, it feels
jagged
kind of like
sharp?
a curved shard. It's like kind of smooth on one side and a little bit more jagged on the other side. Like it definitely looks like it snapped off of something.
If I stick it in my pants, are you gonna make it cut?
Would I ever do that?
I have to ask. So yeah,
I don't know. Why don't you try it?
I'm I Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna stick it in my pants.
Okay,
I
roll
don't want to
instinct.
walk around. Yep, I knew it. 7 plus 1, 8. Take that.
You
Um,
dexterously manage to avoid slicing your waistband. Also, I've been waiting for you to try that for like ever since I gave you the object. I've been like, please try to put it in your pants. Please try to put it in your pants. Just waiting.
I mostly because if it is a sharp object, it's a kind of weird object too. I don't exactly want to be like brandishing it around while I'm walking with this dude. So I
I
do
am going
want to
to
kind of
trick you at some point into doing a stupid adventure thing. Just you wait. I haven't gotten to yet. But you will fuck up and I will nail you.
no. I'm staying in character. I'm not gonna walk around with this sharp thing that looks like a knife. That's not a knife.
You know?
Like
Okay.
I'm gonna stow it,
In that case,
and
I'm
I
going
don't
to
have real
give
hands yet.
you. I'm going to change your stats.
Uh
I'm moving you. So now you have +1 Valor, +2 Mystic, 0 Instinct.
oh. Point of order. Is that a result of this item?
It is a result of how you're playing your character. You're playing your character more methodical, and just in general. Yeah, I'll let you decide. You have 2 Mystic. Do you want to put the other point in Valor or Instinct?
I want to put it back in instinct
Okay, so you have.
because I've been making instinct perception and intuition checks too. So
Yeah. Okay, I just want to spread it out a little bit because your style definitely seems to be very methodical, less rough and tumble researcher, and less explorer, more academic. So I feel like your stats should reflect that. That sound fair?
that's fair, but I'm also kind of I would feel like that's intuition, where it's like, you know what, if I was in a random new place and the only thing I had on my person was the analog of a knife,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna walk around just holding it in my hand. I'm gonna like put it in a
Right.
pocket or something.
Holding it in your hand would be a very Valor thing to do. Have
Yeah.
more bravado,
I'm not gonna
explore farther
shank this
around you.
dude.
Yeah, but you also don't know anything about it. You don't know where he's leading you. You're following your instincts and you're basing things on facts and not fear. So yeah, you are leaning more towards instinct and mystic than you are valor, I would argue.
Yeah, for now, yeah.
So
I'm in a
I'm just gonna
new
tweak
area.
your. I'm tweaking your starting stats a little bit. That's okay.
Yeah. So what am I at now?
0 valor, 2 mystic, 1 instinct.
That's fine. I'm not really doing much. I already drained the valor juice, trying not to drown, and ended
fair.
this story half an hour ago.
That burned out all your valor rolls forever.
I mean, I'm in a new area. There's there will be a certain level of bravado needed, I'm sure, but like
Yeah.
I'm not Roy Jenkinsing running into the woods with my shitty knife.
Exactly.
Like,
That's why you have 0 valor.
yeah, I agree. Makes sense. All right.
Cool.
That's something that would change to, like, that's kind of a fluid thing, right?
It is, but in general, it's going to increase and not shift. This is more just as we're getting a feel for your character and role playing and whatnot. You know, we don't have the luxury of kind of having a session 0. Like in a D&D campaign, you would get a lot of this from making your OC and bouncing them off the other players, bouncing them off the world a little bit. Since this is very much you going blind, without much system, without lore behind classes and whatnot, and without other players to bounce off of, I'm just trying to reflect where your character is, rather than where we planned your character to be. That makes sense.
Hell yeah, we're playing Morrowind right now. I'm gonna just jump. I'm gonna jump and get my athletics.
Get your valor back up by just jumping in one place.
All I'm gonna do is just jump across this world, wherever. Just jump. Nothing.
Valor 10, Mystic -5. As you don't respond to people, you just jump regardless of how intelligent it is to jump.
All right, so I've got this thing stowed. I'm walking back to Chuck, and we're walking along. So he said he was going to take me to a professor, right?
Yep, and you're walking
So
together. He's keeping about 10 feet away from you, no matter what.
I mean that's only fair. You gotta stay 6 feet apart. Um, is distrustful of me and outsiders. So who is the Pokemon professor you're taking me to?
His name's Professor Larch.
Professor Larch. What kind of hmm, what am I trying to say? There's words that can't come out. What kind of
Research?
well what is the study at
Nope,
his
no,
lab?
don't care. Showed up here about 3 years ago now with his assistant. First time anyone's come to our little town in a long time. You're kind of walking
3 years.
towards a little grove of trees. As you're kind of going on a diagonal, not quite like straight up the beach. Kind of making your way diagonal. There's a grove of trees, up ahead that you're circling around.
I have an urge to scoop up sand and put in my pocket.
What pocket?
Feel like in a past life I would have. Oh yeah, that's true. I got no pockets. Well, I feel like a past life I probably would have done that.
And it's
But
like
I'm just gonna keep
gravel, and I
walking.
feel like pocket gravel is not quite as good as pocket sand.
No, that just hurts.
Yeah, but it also doesn't get enough velocity to really. It's not small enough to blind, and it's not heavy enough to damage. Disappointing. Probably has good mouthfeel though.
Eh,
Just a
not
mouthful of
really.
gravel.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean, like if you eat like a whole box of nerds,
Shotgun him.
kind of close.
Guess so.
I'm
Nerds are
gonna
like the
talk to Chuck.
gravel of the candy world.
I'm gonna talk to Chuck. I feel like that would be a thing that I would do. If I was a researcher, I would try to get to know the. Even if he's very standoffish, I would like to talk to him and try to kind of get on his. So Chuck, how long have you been here in the Palcho?
Yeah, born here. About probably
Or
69.
here?
That's how old I am. You lose track of my age. Nothing changes around Allah.
That's a nice age. Um,
You?
I'm sorry. Um, what else would I want to talk to him about?
Well,
He's
he
kind of an
also
asshole to me.
he just said nothing much happens here around Havala. Not sure if you heard that.
I did not. That's why. What's Havala? Is that
Ah,
a town or is that a
yeah,
region or
it's our town.
Havala
Nice
town?
little town. Quiet. No people from cruise ships coming here. Gives you a pointed look. But
Well, I'm sorry to
it
break
seems
that.
almost affectionate. Like he's trying to be a little bit playful in his gruff way.
I would like to meet that energy. It's like, well, I'm sorry I have to. I'm sorry I have, but I've got nowhere else to go.
I gotta say, we'll let Larch sort you out.
Is there a Pokemon gym in Havala?
Jim. No, but it closed down years ago. Ah, I
Years.
remember fighting at the gyms back in my youth. I was gonna be the champion. Stares wistfully.
Out of character question.
Hmm?
Did we decide kind of how old I was?
Um, how old do you want to be?
I don't know.
I mean, you're definitely not a
I feel
kid.
like
You've been a Pokemon researcher for a while.
I don't. I feel like I wouldn't be like 30s. I would feel like I'd be 40s.
Sure. I was gonna leave that kind of up to you and how you were vibing with the character. But
Yeah,
like you
because
are
then it's
definitely
like
older than 25,
older than 25.
younger than
I
50.
would have been. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm early 40s. I don't know what matters. 42. 42 is a good number. I'm 42 years old.
That's
Happy
the
birthday
that's
to me.
that's the answer.
Oh, do you get so Dim's closed down years ago. What did he say before that? I got distracted. He remembers fighting in the gyms when he was younger.
Yeah, he's gonna be the champion.
Wait, really?
He went on the quest. He went on the rite of passage as a small child, try to beat up all the gym leaders.
Gotcha. Got beat up their Pokemon. No, you fought. So you fought in the gyms when you were younger.
Oh yeah,
He said
it
he
seems so
told me,
barbaric.
told me his age. So how is that?
Oh, just bringing your Pokemon around just to fight each other. I know the youth are still into that, as much as they can be these days, but uh, it was
Well,
different.
it's not always fighting. My partner Crocky here, he's my research partner too. He can swim. Well, when he's fully evolved, he can swim and he can cut down tall grass, and he can kind of help me out while I'm out doing my research.
Oh, he used to be fully evolved. Did he get sick too? As you're walking, by the way, you can see a couple small buildings go up ahead. The gravel's kind of giving way to a path. It's getting a little grassier. So the land is kind of getting grassy, but like the gravel kind of continues onto a path up a little hill. And you can see some trees kind of to the left, trees to the right, and then up ahead, some roots poking up top of the hill.
I have a question.
Yep.
Out of character question. Did you have any plans for Poke Rus or anything like that?
Um, Not that sort of thing.
Okay. Um. So I'm going to talk to Chuck again. What do you mean? I don't think he was sick. I mean, the nurse in our town uh checked him out, and he got Pokerus once, but that wasn't the reason. He just he
You
was a
see,
for alligator.
he spits on the ground and glares at you. Don't talk to me about Pokey Russ.
Well, that was that
Damn
was back.
researchers. Starts
Well,
grumbling
that
to
was
himself.
well. Hey, now that was back when we were kind of more active in the gym challenge. That was kind of between being a gym challenger and being a researcher. He grew out of it. He was kind of sick for a
Just
while, but
just
then
just just make sure he doesn't keep him away from the other Pokemon. Trying to keep him quiet. He now seems a lot more hostile towards you again.
oh, I'm sorry. So hey, do you have a store
Yeah,
or just
I'm gonna go check in. Just go up the path there. You'll the building at the end of the path is kind of without kind of saying another word. Kind of speeds up a little bit and hooks left towards the near building.
okay? Thank you for taking me along, Mr. Chuck.
Kind of waves his cane somewhat like behind his back at you. You're not sure if it's a threat or a wave goodbye, but he kind of closes the door behind. Enters his house and closes the door behind him.
Well, he seemed like a nice guy, Crocky.
So this is your classic kind of Pokemon town. Got two houses. Chuck's house on the left, a house to your right, and then up ahead is the presumably Professor Larch's house.
Two houses, one Chuck, one blank, and well, I got nothing better to do. Let's go on up to the professor's. Professor.
Right, your way up. Looks like it's kind of a quaint building. It's like in the same style as the other two buildings. Not like not quite log cabins, but they're definitely like built out of wood, definitely built by hand. As you've made your way through the town, you can see it really is pretty small. It seems to be kind of closed in trees. It's like the middle of a grove. There's another path leading off to the left. Um, Going away from the professor's house. So the town kind of forms an almost like a turned L. Like you go straight up from the beach to get to the professor's. You pass the two houses, and then from westwards from the professor's, there's another path going off through.
Okay, I go up to the professor's house and I knock on the door.
You hear like a little kind of like scrabbling sound. It sounds like kind of nails on hardwood, and then from a doggy door or little flap that you didn't notice in the door. Not like a flap. It's like a wooden flap, not like a piece. But out poking from flap, a little head pokes out. It's a head that both looks familiar and unfamiliar. It's a little rodent head, little buck teeth growing out, small round ears. You definitely recognize it as a rattata. However, it's all tan, and it has green eyes and what looks like moss growing on its head, and little tufts of green on the backs of its ears. So it pokes out and goes, and then sees your Totodile and gives another squeak, and then just bolts back inside.
I look at Crocky. Do you think that was the professor?
Wow. You hear some footsteps, and the door opens, and kind of peering out shyly is this short person, about sandy brown, ear length hair, big round glasses, wearing like a polo shirt and like an ankle length skirt, kind of peering out at you. Hello?
Hi, are you Professor Lark?
Oh no, gosh, my name's Aiden. I'm the professor's assistant. Are you okay?
Well, nice.
Do you need food or medicine or clothing?
I've been better. All of the above, please. I'd really like to speak with Professor Larch too, if that could be an option.
Yes, absolutely. Just let me take a look at you quick. Come in, come in. And you notice they're very carefully standing, like they quickly like scuttle back or like turn back over and keeping distance. They kind of beckon you and gesture you to this. It's this nice little seating area. It's not quite a waiting room, but it's not quite as homey as a living room. There's like a roundish couch with a table, and you see connected as a little kind of kitchenette. So Aiden kind of gestures and like towards the couch, and goes over towards the kitchenette.
I take the shard of black glass out of hands and I sit down.
I hate you. Damn it! He's smart. You sit down.
I'm not smart. I have two things. So
So you sit down and Aiden's kind of puts on a pot of water, um, gets out a little plate and like puts some little digestive biscuits on it. Um, Also gets a glass of water, and then sets them all on the table, and then goes over to this little kind of kit on the wall. It's unmarked, but as they open it up, you can kind of see band aids and like medical supplies. And they take out like a little pen light, and some band aids and a disposable mask and gloves. Put that on. Then they kind of bring you over the biscuits and the water. Got some tea on. Would you mind if I take a look at you?
yes, please. I checked myself out on the beach, and I didn't seem to be hurt. Just kind of real messed up.
Um, so they're kind of looking at you. They do kind of a concussion check, peering into your eyes. They have look you over. What? As they're looking over, what happened to you anyway? Also, by the way, from now on, you can just say, "I tell Aiden what happened," like, or "I tell blank what happened," so you don't have to go through the whole recap. Or you can recap as much as you like. Up to you.
Well, it's quite a long story, and then I tell her the story.
Them.
I tell them the story.
Wow. So, you said it was a three-eyed Pokemon? Did you say it was a Pokemon? What? Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what it was. It had three eyes, and it seemed to be.
Also, are you
It
holding
seemed to be
the
causing.
are you holding the glass? Or are you holding the black shard?
No, I put it on like I put it on the table or something.
Okay. So Aiden like kind of spots it and like peers at it. Doesn't touch it. Peers at it from like kind of side to side. Interesting. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. How rude of me.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know if it was a Pokemon or.
oh, Professor Lutch is going to be so curious about this. Oh, so sorry. I really should get you a change of clothes. Oh gosh. Here, stay right here. And Aiden kind of like rushes off, and then peers back, and then rushes and then like scurries off to a different room. Um, you're waiting.
I talked to Totodile.
Odo.
Well, they seem nice.
Odo kind of nods at you, and then kind of sneaks a glance at the biscuits.
Yeah, take a biscuit. I give Totodile a biscuit.
Odo just like grabs it and just shoves it, and just shards of biscuit crumbs fly everywhere. Just devours it, and kind of leans over towards them.
They kind of had a weird reaction to that piece of black glass or whatever I found, though, don't you think?
Ah, reaching up and trying to like grab one.
Grab one, what? A biscuit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Totodile a biscuit, and
So,
I also I'm gonna eat a biscuit too because I'm probably hungry.
you didn't realize how hungry you were until you started eating, but this dry, kind of crumbly biscuit is the best thing you've ever tasted. Um, Pretty soon between you and Totodile, like as you're ruminating, suddenly the plate of biscuits is gone. The whole plate. You don't even know how it happened. Boom. No more biscuits.
And a flash of white light and a dark storm came, and the biscuits were gone.
Speaking of a storm, all of a sudden there's a pounding on the door. Dun, dun, dun.
I This isn't my house. I just sit there.
You hear like kind of a jiggling, and then like the door opens, and like a young man comes in, probably like early 20s, kind of scrawny, about 5'6", messy black hair, comes in, looking around. Hey, Larch, Sprout, is he here? He turns and notices you. You. Alec
Me?
stands there, his arms crossed. The hell are you doing in our village?
Well, I kind of just ended up here. I didn't choose to be here. I'm sorry if my presence is offensive to you.
Out from behind him, kind of pokes the head of a creature. About 1.5 feet tall. Um, Descriptions. So it looks almost like a wooden mask, but not painted. Just kind of like a little oval, hollow fur mouth, two big eyes that almost look like knots of a tree, slightly sunken in. Uh, this little like wooden mask kind of poking out from behind the stranger's leg.
Is that what's your name?
I'm not telling anything to a stranger.
My name's Erwin. So
So
I guess we're not strangers.
Aiden comes back out holding some clothing. Sorry, it took me a while to find something that might even remotely fit you. Oh, Grant, what do you say about just barging in? So Grant kind of.
Question:
Yeah?
Is it Eden, like the garden, or
Aiden,
Aiden, like oh,
Aiden.
Aiden? Is that also Sprout?
Yes, Aiden Sprout is their
Or
full name.
and Grant's a he?
Yep, Grant's a he. He is the rude
Okay.
gentleman who just came in.
I kind of out of character. I won't need help with the they them. I'm just not familiar. I want to make sure I address them right,
Yep,
but
totally
I'm just
cool.
not familiar with the right way to do that.
Absolutely. I'm happy to remind you, and it is no worries otherwise.
Here. Um. So Grant. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Um. I take the clothes and I go find a room to change into. Then
Where are you going? Um.
I'm going to ask Aiden if there's a room that I can go change my.
Oh yes, I will deal with this one. You go back that way to the left. Should be a bathroom you can change in.
I do that.
Um. Eden starts talking quietly to Grant, and you can't really make out what either of them are saying. But Grant is mostly listening, and occasionally you just hear like, "Oh, come on, what?" Like incredulous sounds. Um, yeah, so you change.
Yes. And then I come. I guess I come back out. I give uh Totodile another biscuit.
You also ate all the biscuits.
They
No more
they
biscuits.
still. Oh yeah, right.
In a flash
They're
of light, those biscuits
gone.
were
They're
gone.
gone. They they didn't tell me. Grant didn't tell me his name. Right. That was Aiden.
Yeah,
That
Aiden said the name Grant.
that told. Um. So for changing, I'll be like, well, thank you, Aiden. Uh, thank you, Aiden, for the clothes. That solves one of my problems. Actually, no, clothes and biscuits. That solves a couple of my problems. Um, if I could meet with the professor, that will help me get on my way
Grant kind
to
of holds
getting
out a
out of.
hand to stop you. Aiden and I came to an agreement. I did not agree. We came to an agreement. And Aiden kind of like looks put out, like sulks a little bit. This town is quiet and has gone complacent. But I've been around, can't get the sense of a person until you see them in battle. What do you say? What do you say?
Well, it's been quite a while, but I'm certainly I'll go for it. What do you think, Totodile?
Oda kind of looks up at you, kind of shrugs.
Sounds like a yes to me.
Hmm. Grant smirks at you. Grant, please take this outside. I don't want you messing up our living room. So
I'm
Grant
gonna
turns and heads outside.
I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna take a cup of tea with me to like kind of flex on it. Like this is kind of like nothing. Like I'm just gonna sit there and drink my tea.
The
If
the,
if I
the,
lose, it'll 100% backfire. But I feel like I'm like this is like a 20-year-old dude, and I've been at this like maybe almost twice as long as him. Like
Mhm.
this ain't no thing.
Okay. So make sure you grab your tea. Oh, yes, the tea. Would you like lemon or sugar with that? It's just a little herbal
I'll
tea.
I'll drink it straight.
Aiden gives like kind of an approving nod. So you head out in front of the door. And Grant is standing there, and next to him, you get a better look at his Pokemon. So it's about a foot and a half tall. It said the has kind of like a wooden mask for a face. Looks almost like it's like just made from a piece of bark that has like little hollows in it. It almost looks like a voodoo doll. It has a very kind of like small, very simple body, like a branch. Has two have twigs coming out of sides as arms, and they just have little, very tiny twigs with leaves sticking out. And as you stand there, it stretches to its full height, and it's more like 3 feet tall. Its legs are incredibly long and spindly. There's three of them. It almost puts this Pokemon on like a tripod. It looks very unusual. Does that give you a sense of it?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I can roll an instinct check to kind of see what if I can
Absolutely.
kind of tell.
Absolutely. Make a roll.
6 + 1 would be 7.
It is
No,
very clear.
oh, yeah, that's +1. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. So on your first impressions of it using your instinct are that it's a grass Pokemon.
Okay. Um, okay. Probably not going. That's not good for me with my Totodile. What? Um, you would be the one who would have decided what moves would Totodile.
Yes. I meant to go over this with you before. Um, so basically, once I get the I'm kind of playtesting the battle system a little roughly. The way I'm doing it is that each Pokemon has an ability and two moves. For the sake of clarity, you get a kind of your primary attacking move and a support move. But you can use these moves in kind of lateral ways. You don't just have to say I attack, but you can say I'm going to try to do this, and that might give you a plus or minus modifier depending on what your opponent's going to do. So out of Totodile's starting moves, your main attack move um, is going to be Water Gun. I presume you want a water move as your so your primary attack move is going to be like your same type.
Yeah. It would be kind of lame if I had Ice Fang or something right from the get go, right? Because that would not. That's
Yeah,
not how this works.
yeah, and I'm looking at the Gen 2 list,
Water gun's fine.
and then for your second move, um, if you want have coverage for down the road, you can do bite. Um, or you can have scary face to lower their speed, or screech to try to lower their defense. And once you pick these, it's not. Think of it like this. Think of it kind of like your spells in D&D. These are your moves, and you're stuck with them for the day. But when you do a long rest, you can shift out your moves. And off recording, we can like talk about what moves your Totodile knows.
Let's see. Let's see. I have a hunch. I'm going to stick with bite.
Okay, so you're gonna have water gun and bite.
Yeah, and ability.
Your ability is torrent. If you're half health, your damage goes up by 50%.
Got it. Okay. All right. Okay. I know what I got.
Okay. So the way battle is going to work is it is semi-simultaneous. You let me know if you want to use a move or try to react, dodge, brace yourself, do something clever, and then we'll then roll 2d6, which is going to be kind of the initiative. Each round, Pokemon will kind of go at it. Whoever has the higher initiative value hits first.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing it like the anime battles or like a samurai fight where they charge at each other, they stand back, they charge at each other, stand back. Kind of see that pattern in Monster Rancher a little bit, so that's kind of the vibe I'm going for.
I'm gonna hit him with a thunderbolt.
Alrighty, so round one. What you gonna do?
Do I roll my 2d6 now, or?
Well, first tell me kind of what your plan is, so I can let you know if that's going to give you any modifiers on that. Also, Totodile has 150 health.
150 health. Where to go? There we go.
Also, don't worry too much about numbers. I have fairly precise numbers written down, and I am also going to just fudge everything on the spot, according to what makes sense.
I'm gonna tell Totodile. Now, this psychic link thing too, like it's not like a command, but like we're kind of in sync, right?
Right. So let's say you wanted
No, no.
Totodile. Let's say you want Totodile to splash to use water gun on the ground to make mud. You wouldn't have to say Totodile use water gun on the ground to make mud. You tell me that, but you could just be like Totodile water gun, and Totodile would know. Okay, he wants me to make mud.
Okay. I was thinking maybe not because I did say earlier on that like they would be kind of rusty. So
Yeah,
maybe
your coordination might not be as good. Totodile might not listen to you 100% of the time. Particularly if you roll poorly on your 2d6.
I'm gonna have Totodile kind of. I'm not gonna make the first move because this is a weird Pokemon. I can surmise that it's a grass type, so I'm at a disadvantage. I'm gonna have Totodile just kind of wait for something to happen. I'm gonna have them be ready to water gun as a dodge out of the way, like kind of like Super Mario Sunshine, flood it out of the way. But not. I'm not making the first attack.
Okay. Roll.
7 plus 1, 8.
No bonuses for this. Sorry, I should have
7. Oh,
specified that.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. 7, just 7. 6
Okay.
plus 1.
I got an 8. So Grant goes, Sticks, growth. Sticks kind of leans up and its eyes flicker green a little bit, and then you see the little twigs on its fingers get a little bit leafier. Like they grow just a little bit. It has little twigs on its head that you didn't really notice before, but now they grow a little bit. Get some leaves. Otherwise, does not move.
Since I had kind of not a prepared action, capital P, capital A, can I have Totodile use water gun to launch itself at Sticks?
No, you were kind of prepping to dodge, waiting
Okay.
to see what happened. So, Totodile's like, if Totodile had maybe better reflexes or better intuition, maybe you can kind of pull that move off. But like you said, you're rusty. We're just trying to wait and see.
Would it still do the thing that I asked it to do?
What do you mean?
Or, oh, I didn't ask it to do anything. I just kind of wanted to prepare. Okay.
Yeah, you
so
kind of prepared to
I guess
dodge.
my question then is, did I waste my turn?
Yes, you did. That's okay. Turns get wasted sometimes.
I'm going to do the same thing next round.
Okay. Roll.
3 plus 4, 7.
Okay. So Grant again makes the first move. Vine Whip. And Kinderling lashes out with a vine. That erupts from its hand. For how spindly the Pokemon looks. Also, the Pokemon's name is Kinderling. Its nickname is Styx. So
I see. Okay.
I may switch back and forth between the two, but the Pokemon's official name is Kinderling. So it moves surprisingly fast for something so spindly, and the whip of vine coming out from its hand cuts across at an angle. You were prepared to dodge, but it still manages to catch Totodile on the foot slightly, and takes 10 damage.
That's fine. I used water gun to dodge up in the air. Can I have Totodile launch itself kind of towards like a parabolic arc?
Yeah, so kind of like dodge forwards almost.
Yes.
Okay. So you're dodging forwards. That's going to give you a +2 on your next roll, but it also means that you're way more open to attack.
That's fine.
Okay. Next plan.
Okay, so I've dodged forward. I'm gonna have it bite its face.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have it bite.
Roll them.
That's 6 plus 2. That's 8. And do I get my +2 on that?
Yeah. So you rolled a 6, or did you roll an 8?
I rolled an 8. I was just splitting up the 2 dice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you got an 8, then plus the 2 bonus that I gave you.
That would be a 10.
Yeah. You catch Kinderling totally by surprise and just bite its face hard. Like a very solid hit. It's kind of struggles. It was going to try to whip you again, but it can only kind of manage to like grab you slightly and like fling you off of it. It manages to at least pull you off, so you're not like grappling it. And it does like 5 damage, but definitely startled it.
Dang. I had in my mind. Okay, so I was gonna bite it, and then I was gonna water gun it, like point blank range.
You're still
with
like
it in my mouth.
You're still like right in front of it.
I'm still gonna water gun it. It just visually, I was gonna bite it and then water gun
Yeah,
right out. right at the dome.
Allows us a little less spectacular than that.
I'm going to try that more often, just to be sure. That's the first thing I came up with, so I feel like that's probably something that we would have done.
That was badass as hell, and if I had rolled lower, I would have given it to you.
I'm still gonna water gun it.
Okay, roll.
That's 2 + 3, 5.
Yeah, so kindling recovers quicker than you'd expect, and just a vine wraps out and like wraps around Totodile's neck, dealing 30 damage.
Can I target with the water gun?
Yeah.
I want to try to shoot the vines that are holding Totodile.
So Totodile tries to water gun the vines, but being wrapped around his neck does not make it easy to get the water out. So, so it only does 10 damage, and it loosens the grip a little bit, but he still got you.
Okay. Loosens the grip. So is Totodile able to move its head freely?
Able to like turn it. It's not like choking to death, but
if I bite its vine, can I bite its vine?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite its vine.
So just to make sure my tracking is correct, you're at 105 health?
Sure. I was not keeping track. That was 30. It hit me with 5 and it hit me with 10 at the get-go. Yeah, that's 45. Yeah, 105.
Okay, so you're gonna try to bite the vine?
Yes, I rolled a 7.
Yeah, Kindling got too cocky. You bite the vine and it like flails back, totally, and flinches, in pain. So just dealt another 20 to it.
What does it do?
You dealt 30 to it. It lets go of you. It stumbles back. It does not attack.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my moves kind of laterally. I'm going to use water gun to launch myself at it in a makeshift like tackle attack.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Kinderling uses a vine and like tugs itself out of the way sideways, and zooms past it, kind of face planting a little bit. And
oh no!
Is in a bit of a vulnerable position.
Do I have to use my turn to get up?
So you don't like face plant, concuss yourself, but you are definitely Totodile lands kind of facing away.
In D&D parlance, would I be prone on the ground?
You are not prone.
Okay. I'm gonna
think of it like it's like a free. Think of it like it's a quick action to turn around, but you can't like turn around and take a step to dodge. You basically get to turn around and then do one thing. Definitely caught a little flat-footed.
I'm facing away from Kindling.
Yeah, kind of facing away and off to the side a little bit. Kindling just dodged to the side. Kindling dodged to the side. You went right past where it used to be.
Would Totodile have any perception that Kindling is not directly behind it?
Yeah, I mean, Totodile saw it dodge to the side as he zoomed, pushing himself. Well, actually, no, you're facing towards it because you water blasted. You essentially water blasted yourself backwards, didn't you?
I kind of had more in mind that Totodile would have facing Kindling would have looked down and kind of water gunned it.
Yeah. So you're facing
like so I'd be facing away from it.
Yep.
I can't really do much if I get up and water gun it. No, I'm overusing this. I was gonna water gun. I'm just gonna just do the same thing again,
Hmm.
but I think I'm gonna just Totodale's gonna get up and be ready to dodge out of the way. That can be just a regular dodge, not like a fancy water gun dodge.
Cool.
Where's my mouse? 5.
You got a 5, and Kinderling got a 4. So Kinderling was ready to just wreck Totodile, but reflexes were slower than planned. Only gets a kind of another glancing blow, 20 damage.
What describes as a glancing blow? Like, did it hit me with its vines, or
Yeah,
did it hit me with it?
it used Vine Whip again. It's trying to keep you at range. I kind of dodged out of the way, but still got hit him.
How many vines does it have?
One on each arm.
Did it hit me with both of them?
No, just it seems to be using mostly its right arm to like kind of like lash.
Kind of like a whip.
Yeah,
A
kind of like
vine
a
whip,
Vine
I
Whip.
guess.
Yeah,
Um,
because unlike Bulbasaur that
I,
has like kind of two extraneous vines, Kinderling's vines are its arms, so it's easier for it to use one at a time.
oh, are those the 3 vines that are underneath it?
No, those are its feet. Those are its legs. These are its like vines coming out of
Um,
its two little stumpy arms.
okay. I'm going to. Okay, so the one vine's out. The other vine is kind of back by it.
Yeah,
I got nothing
the
else.
other vine's what it used to pull itself in a dodge.
Okay.
Yeah, its right vine is kind of at the ready for attacking. Its left vine is like at the ready for pulling itself to the left dodge.
I'm gonna do another water gun improvised tackle. To not directly at where Kinderling is now. I've already seen it do that thing. I'm gonna kind of target a little bit to its left, towards the side where it would pull to dodge.
Okay.
That's a fuck 2.
Yeah, no, Kinderling, you've used this trick a bunch of times now. Kinderling's ready for you. It just has to adjust its slash a little bit, but it Vine Whips Totodile right in the friggin' face. Um, thankfully,
With which one?
it's right Vine.
Okay.
Like it does dodge to the left. It pulls itself to the left a little bit, so your trajectory is good. But it adjusts, whips Totodile right across the face. So you deal your improvised tackle only deals 10 damage. It does make pretty good contact. But Totodile takes 40 damage to the face. I'm sorry, 45 damage
with
because
with pretty with pretty good contact. Does that stumble it or stagger it at all?
not really because the vine whip slowed your momentum.
Am I in like close range to it?
Yeah, you're in close range.
I'm Totodile's gonna bite its left vine. Sick of this dodging thing. Oh no! I could send you a picture if you like. This is an 11.
Nice. Oh, Kindling rolled a 3. So Kindling is like confident. Your Totodile just like got whipped in the face, rearing back for a very powerful whip right down onto Totodile's head, and you bite the other arm. Kindling flinches, flails. Totodile's got a good grip, and it doesn't. It almost Kindling's head like twitches slightly, like as if it's trying to like would shriek in pain, but it's just kind of making a rustling noise, and then falls over backwards.
Can Totodile keep biting it? Like not bite and let go, like just to kind of clamp on like it did in the anime?
Yes, you're clamping on, but you have clearly won the fight.
Oh. Okay, fine. I'm gonna command Totodile to Totodile to let go.
So, Brent sticks out his hand and make roll instinct.
That's 6 plus 1, 7.
Okay. You just see like a whitish Pokeball. The beam sucks Kindling back in, and Grant pockets it.
Can I roll? Well, that would have been my perception, right? My instinct.
Yeah,
Would I recognize that as a Pokeball from anywhere that I would have been?
it's just a whitish Pokeball. It looks like it looks like a Cherish Ball or maybe a Friendship Ball.
Premier Ball was what I was thinking, because that's just a plain ass Pokeball.
No, because Premier Balls are like all red, right? Or are they white with a red dot?
Yeah, those are the inverted ones.
Yeah, you assume it's a Premier Ball. You notice that it's not standard Pokeball colors, but you don't think anything else of it.
Okay. Well, that was a good fight. What's that Pokemon called?
Grant gives you kind of a look, and then just like sticks out his hand without saying anything.
Is this where I punch him in the face and take his money?
Do you want to punch him in the face? He is extending his hand for a handshake.
No. No, I'm gonna shake his hand.
You let go, and Aiden kind of winces, and then immediately hands you pulls out a disinfecting wipes from a pocket and just hands you one and hands Grant one. It's like,
did I not have gloves?
You did not ask for gloves, nor did Aiden offer you gloves.
Okay.
Yep, you got your tea.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, the whole time I was just sipping the tea. Not in not like a slang, like I mean literally, like, Totodile's doing all this cool shit and I'm just kind of drinking tea.
It's kind of like nods at you, is like, you clearly have a connection with your Pokemon and you have a good fighting spirit. This is Styx, my Kinderling.
Well, you seem to have a pretty good connection with your Kinderling too. That's some fine shooting, Tex. No, that's not what I want to say. That's those are some pretty cool moves.
Kind of gives you a curt nod. Well, I have work to be done, and just stay out of trouble. Do what Larch tells you to do. Don't go anywhere. We'll get you back home or whatever as soon as possible. He kind of walks off down left path.
So I talked to Aiden. So what's his deal?
Oh, Grant is a passionate young lad, they say very tactfully. His parents live in the village, but they've been out traveling for a while, and he's just trying to, just doing his part to figure out what's going on,
What is going on? He kind of had kind of a chip on his shoulder. I spoke with this elderly gentleman, Chuck Morris, earlier, and
I hope he didn't give you too hard of a time.
It seems like there's something going on. He gave me, he gave and I take, and I gave and he took. What is going on here?
The professor explain that all to you. So Aiden kind of turns back to the door. Oh, Professor Larch. So this very tall, very skinny gentleman, younger than you were expecting, only about your age, maybe even a little younger, is standing there in kind of like a lab coat with a mask and gloves on, like clutching his hands excitedly. Oh, what fun! I haven't seen a Pokemon battle like that in years. Oh, what a treat. So you are
Are you?
Erwin?
So you're? Yes. I feel a little underdressed.
You are in clothes again.
Yeah, but Aiden, could I please get a pair of gloves and a mask? I feel like I should be wearing them. You should wear a gloves and mask at this time in this Pokemon game. It
Oh,
prevents the virus spread from whoever. Wear a
Aiden,
mask. For the three of you that are listening to this, wear your fucking mask.
Aiden, like looks absolutely horrified. Of course, and just like runs as fast as their fairly short legs can take them back inside, and like Lurch kind of dodges out of the way. I do appreciate your concern. To be perfectly honest, this sickness seems to be only affecting Pokemon, but we do know it can spread from humans to Pokemon. So I very much appreciate your caution for your sake and your little friend's sake. Is that a Totodile? Like leans over and like looks at Totodile.
Well, yes, it is a Totodile.
Lovely, I've never seen one in person before. Oh, kind of peering at it, like looking side to side. Hello, little fella. Um, he
What's
kind of reaches
what's
into his
Totodile's
pocket
perception?
and pulls out like a potion kind of spray thing. Totodile seems a little weirded out, especially given that
Yeah,
nobody else has been this friendly.
yeah.
So what do you do? Just do you let Totodile go and get sprayed with the potion, heal back up,
Uh,
or what do you like?
do
Kind of,
do I know? Do I know that that's like a heal potion, or is it? Does it look like a heal potion that I would recognize?
it looks pretty much like your standard shape and size for a heal potion.
Yeah, go for it.
Like it's not a brand you recognize, but looks fine. It,
Yeah, it's fine.
Toda walks over, the professor gives him like a spritz, and you see like the little scuffs and bruises that Todo got kind of heal up, and he perks back up. And go, Todo! Kind of waves his arms cutely at.
Thanks
Oh,
for the top, Professor.
absolutely. So, um, Aiden was able. Aiden sent me a very confusing message and pulls out kind of what looks like a Pokedex, kind of like the Pokedex Pal Pad combination, but it looks surprisingly out of date. Like it looks like a model not that you recognize, but based on its clunkiness. It's like how you would recognize a phone from 10 years ago, even if you didn't recognize the brand. Just in terms of form factor and size. It looks like a fairly outdated Pokedex, or Pal Pad, or whatever it may be. Yes, Aiden sent me a message saying that you are from Johto?
Yes, that's correct.
Very interesting.
I tell him the whole story.
Ugh, I am so intrigued right now. There is so much. I wish I could pick your brain. Oh, sorry, that was creepy. But so fascinating. Well, I'm afraid I don't have much to offer you. Clearly, don't have a boat around here, and not. You're welcome to stay with me as long as you would like, but I'd imagine you do want to get home, don't you?
Um, does he tell me the whole story?
Not yet. He seems focused on you and focused on your concerns.
Well, it seems to me then, Professor, that the I'm sorry, it's he him, right?
Yes.
Okay. It seems to me, Professor, that I I'm kind of stuck here. Um, eh, I guess the best way for me is to go find a Pokemon that could fly, or maybe find a transport, a town with transport with like planes or something, or a boat.
So,
Seems like I'm stuck here.
Aiden didn't have a chance to tell you our situation, did they?
Um, they said that you would tell me, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. It seems like if I'm stuck here, if there's something going on and I have to go travel in the region anyway, maybe I can help you out and
Hmm.
try to find the cause of it.
That would be great, particularly since you going to have trouble getting home anyway. Let me give you the quick rundown since you're not from around here. Paltrow has always been um a little bit of a hostile region. And to keep to our own and our leadership has very much discouraged us from traveling. Um I don't know the history of it since it was before my time, but Paltrow's borders have been closed to outsiders for the past 30 years. And very rarely, political leaders have gone back and forth, but we've really just been kept to our own, no outside contact. And we accepted it. It's our culture. But about 5 years ago, sickness started. Pokemon started falling ill, growing weaker, evolving back into earlier forms, or falling unconscious, sleeping for 20 hours of the day. So you may have a lot of trouble finding Pokemon that will be well enough to fly you out of here. We in Havala Town are lucky. The sickness hasn't really affected us much since we're fairly remote. Uh, and Grant's the only person who really comes and goes. Parents have been quarantining themselves outside the village. I haven't heard from them in quite some months. Yeah, well, Chuck and Agatha don't really get around so much anymore. I'm not trying to worry you. I pray that you're able to keep Totodile safe. It's seems to be easier when you're out and about and not in the major cities. But unfortunately, the cities might be where you have to go. In order to get permission to charter a boat or a plane out of here, you're going to need to talk to the governor. He's the only person who can grant special permission to leave this place and go to the other regions. And he's going to want to get the top scientists to inspect you for health and inspect Totodile first to make sure that you won't carry our disease to the other region. So, I'm afraid that's your best bet. I'm sorry to say.
You said something about how the sickness causes Pokemon to devolve. Totodile used to be a Feraligatr long time ago, long time. And obviously, Totodile is not a Feraligatr.
Interesting.
Is that is that
But he didn't get sick. Was it intentional? Out of character, you just were able to go to a Poke Center and get him kind of medically de-evolved when decided
okay?
to settle down. It's kind of like the inverse of a water stone. They have a evolutionary stone that you can use to de-evolve your Pokemon into a more manageable form.
Can I propose a lore thing?
Sure, go for it.
That's where they get rare candies from. That they take the levels away, and it becomes candies, and that's where they come from.
I think that's a little far fetched. Far fetched. It's more that the opposite process to make a rare candy they can use to make like I don't know a common candy, a
Unrare
drab
candies,
candy.
mythic rare candies.
But yeah, it's just a
Okay.
similar process. I may tweak that lore since now
I,
you're giving me ideas, but Off the top of my head, no, but I like the
Okay.
cut of your jib.
So that's like a normal thing, but like here it's being forced. It's not like I
Right.
chose to have Totodile de-evolve.
But
Here
Chuck reacted with surprise. Like Chuck assumed
because
that Totodile was sick.
okay, I see. Because they've also been not in contact with other people for the past 30 years.
Hmm.
How did Larch get here? Because Chuck also said that Larch came here like 3 years ago.
So do you ask Larch where he's from?
Yeah. So Professor, so you said the borders have been closed for the past 30 years, right?
Oh, I am actually from Paltrow. I come from Shaylite Town up in the northwest. But
Oh,
I came to Havala. So the sickness started about 5 years ago, and we underestimated it back. But I had always heard of legends of a Pokemon in this town, in this grove, possessed healing powers. Chuck and Agatha and Brantinus folks, they don't believe me. But I am convinced that the secret to curing the sickness lies somewhere in these woods.
well, hey, I got something cool to show you then. Are we inside? Outside?
You can be inside. You came inside.
Um,
Aiden gave you a mask and gloves, and now you're kind of sitting on the couch instead of standing awkwardly in the village square having this conversation.
can I also request kind of like not like tough gloves, like work gloves? I'm reminded of when I had to like pick up the thing I'm about to do. I'd like to also have like a tough gloves that I could pick things up with.
Sure, Aiden was happy to grant that request.
Cool. So I take the tough gloves, put them on, and I show the professor this black shard of glass. Like, oh, I also found this in the wreck, or I think it's the wreck of my that I was on. I found it on the beach where I woke up. What do you make of this?
Takes out like a magnifying glass, almost like a jeweler's lens, and like looks at it and like lifts it around. It's like, it's interesting. Kind of taps it. Doesn't seem to be organic. It looks artificial. Feels too light to be regular material. Too smooth. Interesting. Not sure what it is. I would guess some kind of lightweight plastic, but whatever it is, feels fancier than what we're used to.
Oh, that's a shame if it's plastic. That means there's probably a whole bunch of it in the ocean.
Kind of like tries to bend it, but it doesn't give at all. Hmm. Yes, it is unfortunate, I hope, but things do wash up shore here, so hopefully we'll be able to kind of gather it up as we can and do what we can.
Do you want to keep hold of it just to kind of if you want to study it, or even if it's trash, then I guess you can throw it away in the
Kind of
trash?
claps his hands eagerly. Oh, absolutely. I didn't want to ask, but and it kind of like takes it and puts it kind of like in a plastic baggie, labels it.
I
Weird
re-
plastic thing.
I remove it from my inventory. So Professor, I couldn't get a straight answer out of Chuck. What's your specialty in Pokemon research? I'm a Pokemon researcher too. I don't know if you watched the show a long time ago, the Totodile Hunter.
we haven't. We don't
Where,
really get outside information.
oh, it was. I'd like to roll a deception.
Okay, that'd
It
be
was the
instinct. Oh, so
yeah.
are you gonna brag or try to tell a convincing lie?
Well, I don't think it's convincing. I was gonna say it was the best show on TV for a decade.
Roll them.
That's a 7 plus 1, 8.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't seen it, but we don't get outside radio or here.
Yeah, you're probably better off. Now, I have a question. So, if there's this sickness going out, is there a store in town, or do you have like a spare Pokeball? So when we got knocked off the ship, I wasn't able to get to my cabin, obviously. Totodile's Pokeball is in there, and so like I don't really have a place to store him. Store isn't the right word, but that's the best I can think of.
That is a very excellent concern. So I do have something, but there is a catch. Give me.
It's a baby carrier. It's a little papoose.
Aw, that'd be adorable. Give me 1 second to get it from my lab. Goes and goes up a little staircase to his research lab. And 1 second. Pull up the file. No, you can't see it, but this way I can describe it. Anyway, so he comes down with a very unusual looking Pokeball. It's kind of deep black, and the seam around the middle is like a electric green. And across the top of it is across like the top and bottom of it, almost like an Ultra Ball, but it has yellow lines going around, and then around again. So it looks almost like it has a big H on the top and the bottom. So
Okay.
this is a ball used by some of the researchers studying the sickness. They have been very, despite me being one of the foremost healing researchers in Palcho, very reluctant to work with me. And in fact, part of the reason I left Shaylight Town, just very resentful. But I managed to obtain one of their Pokeballs, and it does seem to have healing and protective properties. It's my only one, but I'm happy to give it to you to keep your friends safe. Over to you.
Cool. I do whatever I need to do to do it, because that's not like a thing. But whatever it would be, I do it to put Totodile in the Pokeball.
Yeah. Zap him. But also, so Pokeballs are kind of like not like fingerprinted, but they're kind of like are almost like a fingerprint ID to the user. So this was kind of an unassigned ball, and now it's kind of got your fingerprint on it, so people can't use your Pokeball. Take Totodile from it. He's like registered to this Pokeball.
Great, because after I said it,
he's also registered to the other Pokeball. He can be registered to multiple Pokeballs, but he has to be registered.
Crap, because never mind. I don't want to say it.
Oh.
Hello?
I said, "Oh." Now I'm intrigued.
I don't want to say it, but I feel like you already have the gears going.
Yeah, just make sure people don't see you with that ball. You may want to. Pokeballs are designed to be very resilient, scratch-proof, spill-proof. So I'm afraid I don't have any paint that will stick to it. But just try to keep it out of sight.
Well, I have a character question. So I have a change of clothes. Is that all that they gave me?
Before you leave, you'll get more supplies.
Okay. Oh well, I don't really have much of that I can put it away in. I know you gave me this change of clothes, and
Oh,
I hate to be a bother. Is there any chance you can give me like a bag and some
oh,
free
absolutely.
stuff, please?
You are more than welcome to. We'll set you up with a change of clothes, a water bottle, extra gloves and masks, backpack, and you're more than welcome to stay with us for dinner and spend the night. Since, as you kind of look outside and you see that it's probably about like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, autumnal, like early autumn.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Professor. You've done me a huge solid, and I mean this is not a like a direct trade. I'm going out to do. I'm not going to say that in that word to him, but that's kind of the feel that I want to give with whatever I'm saying to him is that I'm doing this kind of adventure for you. But um, I don't know exactly what I would say. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
like it's I over dinner and after dinner, I'll stay up and I'll have to sleep at a reasonable hour, but I'll answer any questions. You seemed interested and wanted to ask me questions earlier.
Oh, absolutely. And we can also discuss your plan from here. But for now, I think you should let's focus on dinner and getting some rest.
A quick question before we go do all that, because it seems like the end of the episode. Could
Yep,
could I also get like a real big notepad along with my bag of stuff?
I've got you one better. He goes and like rummages around and pulls out what looks to be like if his Pokedex looked old, this looks positively like we're not saying 90s cell phone old, but it's definitely a flip phone rather than a smartphone. Let's put it that way. I'll have to get Aiden to touch it up for you, and almost if by magic, like Aiden kind of like pops up out of nowhere, and without looking, he hands the Pokedex to Aiden, and they scurry off with it. But you are more than welcome to use my spare Pokedex to write down your findings, any notes you have on Pokemon. I've heard that there's a lot of changes that have been happening in Pokemon in this region. And if you notice anything unusual, please do write it down. I'd love to hear about it.
Oh wow, this looks like a pretty old model. Can you walk me through how it works?
Absolutely. Aiden! Want to walk Irwin through how this works? I'm gonna go start dinner. And he cheerfully wanders off while Aiden kind of brings it up, still tinkering it with a screwdriver. Since it has visible screws, not just things that pop off. It kind of works to do. It's a basic Pokedex, but it can do basically what you're used to. It doesn't have remote internet access or communications, but it does have speech to text and take notes on it, and it can do some basic analysis of Pokemon. Um, it may not be able to tell you all of the information, but it can give you at least a guess on what their typing might be and other things that you may not have noticed.
Well, hey, could I when I first got here, I noticed you had a, a different looking Rattata. Can I try it out on that?
Yep. Hey.
Remy.
Remy, where are you? Come on,
Yes.
Remy. And after kind of he manages to coax Remy out from underneath the fridge, and Remy still looks very scared, but scoops him up, point the Pokedex at Remy, and keep in mind this is a more familiar. So this is a more familiar Pokemon, and one that's already been probably logged into this very dex. So it's going to give you more information than it would otherwise. But it kind of like you hear a little whirring, and then the Pokedex goes, Rattata, rodent Pokemon, type normal grass. Rattatas are known for being cautious in the extreme, cultivating and encouraging their mossy fur to camouflage themselves as they scavenge for food. See, now that you have a better look at it, it's kind of flatter than rattatas that you're used to. Not like squished, but just rather than being, mouse shaped, it's a little bit flatter and a little bit wider and a little bit stumpier. It has tan fur with like a literal moss growing on its back and the back of its ears. And its tail is also green and tightly curled at the end, and kind of resembles the frond of a fern. You can very clearly see that if this Pokemon was like lying in the underbrush, it would totally blend in with the moss and grass. Yeah, that's Remy. Is there anything you were curious about?
No, I just want to run this thing through its paces. Out of character question. I have a note take capability on this.
Yeah.
Okay. While they're not like I'm not like a decent researcher, but I'm gonna say I am kind of like out of favor.
Are you telling this?
Like,
is this out of character? Or you're telling this to Aiden?
This is out of character.
Okay.
Like I'm kind of stuck where it's like if I get out of here, I want to cash in on what I learned.
So
what I've learned.
Yeah. So again, this is
because.
Yep. Go on. Sorry.
No, because you go ahead because I'm still kind of trying to think.
So, travel in this region is very limited. Even within the region, Pokemon are evolving in bizarre ways and adapting to the plague. So this Pokedex will have, how in the anime, Ash just point the Pokedex at a Pidgey and it tells him everything about Pidgey.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen. This might be like, hey, this is probably rock type, and you're looking at like a friggin' Golem, but it wouldn't be able to tell you that Golem is ground type necessarily. And it may not have entries on it. So if it doesn't have an entry, you'll be able to write that entry.
Okay.
I do have entries. I do have personal entries written down for everything. But you are more than welcome to make new entries, particularly for when you eventually get back to Johto. You can just say whatever you want about Palcho and Rattata.
That's what I kind of mean. I feel like I'll probably solve. I don't know, because if this follows the regular Pokemon game, then I am destined to solve the mystery of the bad guys still, even though that's like not a thing. But it's also like, you know what? I am 42. The well has dried up, and the unscrupulous part of me is, all right, no one's been in this region for 30 years, or no outsiders really. I can make up whatever bullshit I want and like sell it or like market it as like, hey, the return of the Totodile hunter.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be very savvy, and you are more than welcome to give yourself self-inflicted side quests for information.
But I wonder if it's in character, because like I've been pretty reasonable so far, I think. Like I haven't been like a shady kind of dude.
I mean, I don't see your character as the kind of to just make up stuff. But at the same, you seem to have the combination of like that chip on your shoulder, like wanting to get popular again, but also genuinely curious and wanting to learn about Pokemon. So I feel
that's kind of why. No, you know what? If we make it to a certain point in this thing, okay.
You can decide your character as you go along. You can decide if you want to be more scrupulous, less scrupulous, more thorough, less thorough.
I'm gonna cook the books. I mean, whatever you have down, that's gonna be the I guess whatever's in this thing, if there is stuff in this thing.
Yep.
But back in character, while Aiden and Larch are doing whatever to get ready for dinner or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Or maybe even after dinner while I'm getting ready to go to sleep or something. I'm going to write a note, not to overwrite whatever is in Ratata's thing, Ratata's thing. Just kind of like an asterisk, like kind of a sub note.
Asterisk,
And
Rattata seems to have excellent cooking skills.
No, I'm gonna. This is kind of like that, like brief period, if you remember, when like Pokemon Gold and Silver were out in Japan but not in America, and like leaks and stuff were coming, like
Yeah,
Peekaboo and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So this is now Flattata because it's flatter.
Amazing.
It's normal grass. um, it's incredibly sneaky because of its flat body, and it uses its camouflage to hide in the trees like a leaf and get the jump on its prey. So in my lore, in my mind, so like I picture this version, the Palcho Rattata, as kind of like a shy, like meek. Oh, you know what? You know what? Here we go.
Oh God.
Full circle. Rattata is a koala bear.
Amazing. There we go.
Flat. That's kind of where I'm, and like it's 100% fake. It's 100% fake, but like no one in Johto knows that. They might be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I want that."
Oh God. Yep.
So, like, I'm going
This
to
is
keep
what
the
I've
original
unleashed.
one. This is kind of this is what I was talking about before. It's like, well, here's my fake bullshit. I'm 100%. That's why I wanted a notebook, but
Yep.
this will do.
You are more than welcome to make your own fake entries, and I'm actually planning on making a wiki for this, so I'll include the actual entries and then your entries as well.
Oh, good, because then I will definitely make some changes because that was just off the cuff.
Oh God.
But yeah, like it's I want to keep the actual ones because like I do want to know
Mm-hmm.
as a researcher, as a actual researcher, I want to know.
Yeah.
As a TV researcher, I'm making up my own bullshit to sell.
You are more than welcome to.
I am doing that,
As you
which is
know.
wild that Steve Irwin is also like was a legit researcher, like he was a legit biologist and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
everyone knows him only as the crocodile hunter with the crocodiles and like his son in the crocodile enclosure or whatever.
So I'll have you know that my current Google Doc for the Pokedex is 65 pages long and is mostly not filled out. It's like maybe 10
Oh,
entries that are filled out. I have like 500 Pokemon in this. And you're just going to take all of that hard work and just make up lies.
all that hard work of nothing that's not filled out, you said.
Hey, I have filled out everything that you're likely to encounter in the first 3 sessions. Thank you very much.
Let's not say it's hard work like wasted. I'm just also doing work that doesn't need to be done.
All right, fair. We are both doing extraneous work.
Yours is useful because you're the grand master of the campaign. Like you need to know that. Mine's just because I need something to do.
I have no complaints, only fears.
Okay. So now that I've now that I've started now that I've started my 500 page side quest that I didn't need to do at all. What where are we? What are we doing now?
So you ate dinner. You are so exhausted from your day that you haven't really talked about to Professor Larch about your kind of game plan yet, and about like how you can help and how to get to the governors. And I think that will kind of kick off to the next session.
We can do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Right now, you are about to conk the fuck out.
Totodile is not in its Pokeball. Totodile is just chilling on like a pillow or something. Wherever
Yeah.
I'm sleeping. I don't know where I'm sleeping.
You're sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, and one of the couch cushions is Totodile's now.
Aww.
He's my little buddy. Like even I'm trying real hard not to be like a like a shitty person, I guess. But like he is my little buddy. He was on my
Yeah.
travels for whatever. I guess if I'm 42, that means he's been my buddy of 32 years. So
Yeah, about that.
so,
Good buddy.
so I'm looking out for him.
That's good.
Cool.
So yeah. Any other further questions? Character out of character?
All right, so let's see. Let's see if I can run down the skinnies. So there's a weird thing, maybe a Pokemon, maybe 3 Pokemon with one eye, or maybe 2 Pokemon, one with one eye or one with 2 eyes, or maybe a
I hate
Pokemon
you
with
so
4
much.
and a Pokemon with 4 eyes, and it kind of it woke up with a sty in one of them.
I hate you so
Um,
much.
something caused that big storm that may or may not have destroyed the SSN. I woke up in Palcho, where the people are very distrustful of outsiders. Then I battled Grant, and I met with Larch and Aiden, and kind of got the skinny that there's this weird stuff going on in Palcho. And we are going to figure out tomorrow morning when I wake up how to what I'm gonna do. And the piece of plastic may be just a piece of plastic, or maybe it's not a piece of plastic. Who knows? But is that basically where we're at?
Pretty good recap. The one other thing is that you got a weird Pokeball from Professor Larch to keep Totodile in that he says he took from other researchers, and that you shouldn't show to people.
Took from other. Will our hero show this Pokeball to people? Will he? I don't know. Get more biscuits for Totodile. Find out next time
on Pokemon Hazard.
Do, 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 do.
Gotta get you a kazoo or something. Alrighty, well.
So I actually got I got a kazoo.
Oh God.
No, I was about to round in like a MIDI like thing. I don't know. I feel like you put a lot of work in. Did not. I just showed up with a piece of paper and
hey, you were about to self-inflict work.
Yeah, well, I did, but I don't know. I might screw around. I got a MIDI keyboard, because my keyboard's on loan to a work friend. Was doing piano lessons and needed a keyboard.
Yeah.
So that's on loan. But I ended up getting myself a MIDI keyboard, and I haven't started screwing around with it. So if I come up with some fat beats, I will send you MP3 fat beats.
We will incorporate the fat beats. Audience, you have fat beats to look forward to, and feel free to mentally shame Runner if the fat beats are not produced.
They will not be fat enough. They probably won't be produced.
I want thick beats with 3 C's. Not just like 2 C's. 3 C's of thick beats.
Wow. I can't promise anything. I said I only got it the other day, so...
Well, get started. Why are we even still talking? Get to the studio.
Well, you know what? This is not my first rodeo.
Oh, Christ! And with that, until next time, Double Bite and Runner out.
Bye-bye.